and grand rising to the sovereign, original, indigenous, natural, divine heirs. Today is May 11th. It's 2025 on the ancient moon calendar, 2026 on the ancient sun calendar, 5785 on the ancient Hebrew Israelite calendar, 10,066 on the ancient Yoruba calendar, and it's millions and millions and trillions and millions of years on the ancient Moorish calendar since time immemorial into perpetuity. And for that, we are grateful. All rise and stand and remain standing into perpetuity and in alignment and according to the ancient Noahide laws as stated by this holy Congress. This is a sovereign living ancient Article 3, Moorish American, Al-Moroccan, Universal Court Action. We are the divine, sovereign living justices and ego sum Pauline Denise Ritchie. My free chosen sovereign appellation is like tajiri Bay. All are in capitis diminution nolo in red ink, in propria persona sui juris, in proprio solo, and in proprio heredes. We are capit et corpus juris legalis, which is our statement that we are the one and only lawful and legal natural living head and body for our empire. All Moors are the divine, original, indigenous, sovereign, ancient, Al-Moroccan, Moorish American ascendants of the great pharaohs of Kemet and of the ancient Moabites, Canaanites, Shemites, Israelites, Cushites, and Hittites. Our full faith and trust, our allegiance, our honor, our credit, and our energy are hereby vested in ourselves, for we are the people who are the original indigenous, natural divine, sovereign, ancient Moroccan Empire. We're the Moorish American Consulate. We're the ancient Washington District for Columbia. We're the Moorish National Republic federal government de jure and at fact. We're the Universal Moorish American Consulate and the Earthwide Article 3 Moorish American Consular Court. We are the law by our sovereign status, which is the original indigenous natural divine sovereign ancient Article 3 living United States District for Columbia Court. And we are the sovereign fiduciaries, original creditors, executors, divine ministers, possessors, grantors, entitled trustors for all causes for action. And our system is the trustee. We are peace. We are one nation, one state, one empire, and one God. We hereby recognize ourselves, because that's really all it took was for us to know who we are, and then everyone else will follow. We hereby recognize ourselves, we recognize ourselves, and accept our sovereign divine ascension. We do possess in our custody all land, all natural resources, and all commerce. We, the true living God nation, are not at war. We are wahr, which is a German word for truth, spelled W-A-H-R. And we are all eternal, ancient, original sovereign rights at this time and at all points in time, nunc pro tunc, Islam. Today is so important, so important. It is Holy Matriarchs Day. Some say Mother's Day. Holy, 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 Lord God Almighty, the mighty, mighty, mighty matriarchs have risen. And this day we honor ourselves and each other to the fullest. The highest honors go to the matriarchs. The matriarchs who birth the nations, the matriarchs who lead the rise, the matriarchs, powerful, peaceful, strength, almighty. There is no strength nor power except in the matriarchs who are Allah manifested in the flesh. I could sing the praises of us, the matriarchs, all day. We are just so grateful that we know who we are, and we thank each and every one who has honored us thus far. We specifically would like to thank those who sent matriarchal gifts, and we received flowers and things of that nature for today. And we're so grateful. We thank and honor those who sent things and those who sent energies and wishes. And we return those energies and wishes to you. Islam, fearless matriarchs, powerful matriarchs, resilient matriarchs, omnific matriarchs, omnipresent. That means we're everywhere. Because guess what? If there's people there, we're there because we birth people. If God is there, we're there because we are God. Omnipresent, omniscient. Omniscient means all-knowing. The all-knowing matriarch. Yes, we are all-knowing. What does that mean? That means that among us, we all know everything. When we talk to each other, we know everything in the great mind, and then we birth the great minds. We birth the kings, the gods at earth. Oh, I could go all day. I could go all day. All day. We are unmatched. There's none like us. There's none beside us. None above us, that's for sure. We know all of this to be truth. And we honor the unity of the matriarchs. We are unified. We are unified. We are unified. Islam. We will to share our screen with this amazing Congress as well. Islam. So the one thing we will to start with is Matriarchs Day, because according to the great Sheikh Taj Tariq Bey, the nation is measured by the matriarchs. Matriarchs, how are you doing? How are you doing? That is the question. Islam. We know that we control how we're doing. It is no one else's responsibility to ensure that we are well except us first. We do that. We ensure. We cause the temperature of the household and the temperature of the palace and the temperature of the earth to be what it is. Islam. And for that, we're grateful. We will, at this time, unmute. And are there any questions, comments, wisdom? Anyone who wills to make statements regarding the matriarchs as well?
Yes, I just want to say happy, blessed, joyful, what else? Help me now. Mother's Day, Matriarchs Day to all the precious moms, the gods who have brought us into this world and who have been loving us, guiding us, looking to see our best. All mothers want to see the best of their offsprings, no matter what. And we honor and we adore and we exalt you on this your high and holy day. May the good Lord bless and keep all of you. Amen.
Islam. Thank you, nobility. We appreciate it.
Islam.
You're welcome.
Islam, Empress. This is Noble Jabe. I want to just express my appreciation and gratitude for the leadership
Your bank account was
and help too. So you really opened up a lot of, well, the knowledge has just been phenomenal. I mean, it's felt like I've been in college. So, but anyway, I know that as part of being a Moor, we are divinely led by the matriarchy, and that I believe God is a woman. So I'm just giving reverence to the divine leadership that has been there, the protection, also the unseen part that happens, the psychic, all of that. You know, that's really wonderful. It's kind of a replacement for the fake religion I was practicing before. But and as I said, this is your day, and this is all the matriarchs' day, and I'm awed by the grand leadership that you've been giving behind the scenes, and also stepping forward with all the verbal whatever that is they do. I'm admiring you for that, just being able to move forward no matter what happens. I'm emulating that in my action. So I would say Happy Mother's Day, but it'd be more Happy Matriarch Day. And thank you for everything, really, even for the birth. I mean, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a matriarch. And for those test tube babies, y'all just don't know what you're missing. Anyway, thanks.
I knew you were going to throw something in there, Justice Bonus. Islam, thank you, nobility, so much. Islam. And other matriarchs, this is not just to us, it's to all matriarchs today. We are one, we are one, we are one. Islam. Any others? Islam. I will to also say a happy matriarch day just to my own matriarch, Lucille Lawhorn Ritchie. All honors, praise, glory is due to you as well, and I know all of us feel that way about our matriarchs who crowned us with this amazing, all-powerful bloodline, because that is absolutely where the bloodline comes from, and we would not have it any other way. We would will to be who we are right now. Islam. Islam. Now, also, right in alignment with Matriarch's Day is the full moon, and for that we're also grateful. The full moon is just, that is our time as well. We love, love, love full moon energy. We love this time. The extra boost and the renewal that we get around full moon time is just amazing. And for us, that energy, it starts probably about a week before the full moon, and then it lasts a week after the full moon. There's just this added boost of energy, of peace, of joy, and of prosperity, because prosperity just continues to just overtake us in all. And when I say overtake, I don't mean like over our heads, but the abundance is there, and for that we're grateful as well. There's so much more coming for us in terms of the abundance, the prosperity, the wealth, and all. Our ancestors gave us even more keys this week, more access to the estate, and for that we're grateful. So we'll share some of that with you today as well.
If you don't mind.
Yes, nobility.
And I want to just say, especially to you, matriarch, for you to be such a light, an example to all of us in conducting yourself in such a gracious manner. Even those who are attempting to humiliate, belittle, and how they try, you are only shining brighter. And I think this is so commendable and exemplary, and a lot of us can take a page out of your book in how to deal with situations, because it's not many people could stand the ground and remain humble, non-combatant, and all the good adjectives. And it's just leaving a good taste in our mouth of how you have conducted yourself. I want to big you up for that and laud you because you deserve it, because I don't know how you do it, but I'm telling you.
You know, our ancestors have given us so much that those things, you know, the little things are small. Those little, you know, the little voices and things that come in, we see them as just a little small little piece of poop running around. They entertain us most of the time anyway, because we know that they don't have the authority to address us directly, so they do the best that they can with the non-status that they have. You know, those little voices and things that we've been removing them out.
Well, as I said, all they're doing is showing up your character of the real lady that you are, right? You're not bitter. You don't show one sign of bitterness towards them. And I know that, you know, everybody is just, I'm sure I'm reflecting a lot of people's opinion, that just the way you handle the situations from day to day with the harassment, as I said, I'm repeating myself, I don't know how you do it, but it's very exemplary and influential, and it empowers us to know how to handle situations. So once again, I have to big you up, man. I have to big you up.
Thank you. Well, we know why they're here. We know why
it's never gonna work.
We know why, and it's hilarious. We have done. Listen, everything belongs to us. Why? Who in the world could ruin that? Who could ruin that? No one. No one. And the thing is, I mean, you know, we're all powerful. Who? If God be for us, not just for us, we are God. Who can be against us? No one. No one. But see, as you all, as the estates continue to manifest, especially from what we're seeing now, those things will be so minor. You'll chuckle at them too.
Nobody follows your commands, Pauline. Nobody follows your commands.
I command you to be quiet. See how easy that was? Very easy. So, you know, we know that we have all the power, we have all the authority, we have all, and then all the wealth and prosperity as well. So, because think about the things that we dealt with when we first woke up and didn't know what we know now, and hadn't seen the things that we've seen now. For us, it was just a matter of just tell us how to get past fake courts and fake policy enforcers and actors. Show us how to get past that, and everything else is icing on the cake. But just think about the things that we faced 7 years ago. We thought we were facing 7 years ago. We thought that was going to be a problem. Fake courts and fake, you know, we thought that stuff was going to be a problem. But our ancestors said, just keep being yourselves on your own land, and we'll show you how to get past all of that. Actors. They were actors. To us, that was our only issue that we really had, because we knew once we got past those actors like that everything else would be a piece of cake for us to just go ahead and walk through step by step each of the processes, put the processes on the public record. Our ancestors know what they're doing. Justice Willie, have you returned? Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I'm back. I was just going to say, and I know that was bad, and I was just going to say, as you mentioned something, I was in a meeting of some indigenous AI, and it's called, and there was a guy who teaches law, and he had a lawyer there. The lawyer says he's a practicing lawyer, but he's admitting that the system is broken. And as a matter of fact, he says to say that the system is broken is an understatement. That was coming directly from the mouth of a lawyer. I yield.
Islam. Well, and he knows he's not even a real lawyer. If he's admitting that a system that he applied to is broken, that means that any application is broken. Any application that was put in is broken. Broken and ruptured are the same word. Bankrupt, corrupt, interrupt, all the same. So all of those licenses to practice and all of that, it's not worth the paper it's printed on. Not worth the paper it's printed on. Not at all. But see, all it took was for the real law to stand and then put a legal system in place or uncover the ancient legal system, which is what we've done. So with that being stated, listen. Our time is now, and each one at earth is choosing her and his life, destiny, quality for your life. So please choose wisely right now. That's what's happening right now, is everyone is choosing who, what, when, where, how,
so you chose
why,
to have yourself,
and all of that. Everyone is choosing right now what's going to be for them. That's what is really happening. What's happening is everyone is choosing who they are going to, how their life is going to manifest. They're even choosing who they're going to be. Either they will be chattel, serfs and slaves, Slavs, and all of that, or the nobility. Or they'll be subject to the nobility, which is that's a great place to be subject to the nobility for those who are subject to us. It's better than being a slave or a serf or anything of that nature. So, and then where the Moors are concerned, we're choosing by our actions how our life is going to manifest. We're choosing now to be the wealthiest because that's who we are. But choice is an active word. It means that you're doing something to ensure that your estate manifests. You're prepared for your estate to manifest. And let me tell you, there are things that we're doing that we cannot discuss on this platform. We're in complete control of everything that has to do with us. Everything that has to do with us. We are all in complete control of it. It's a choice. It's a choice. Everyone is choosing how their life is going to manifest. They're choosing whether they're going to live in luxury with the best of everything or poverty. Everyone is making that choice by what they do right now. And our matriarchs meant for us. They put the system in place already. All we had to do was uncover it and then use it. Have dominion over all and then keep moving forward. Have dominion over all and keep moving forward. Dominion, moving forward. That's the formula. That's the format. Choosing wisely means putting the 40-something documents on the public record, and then working your way through the lien, levy, and bond process. Because I can tell you that once you get to a certain point in those processes, everything else starts to get a whole lot easier. Rebuttal gets to be so easy. It gets to be super easy. Some of the things that we were thinking when we first nationalized, people would say things like, yeah, all you have to do is mark that, no contract and send it back. And when we first nationalized, the system was saying, no, there's more to it than that. You have to put some other things in place. Okay, so let's just take the time to put those things in place, the documentation, the processes in place. Now, it is that easy. But there's a way to say it and a way to do it where it will be honored every single time. Choose wisely. What the subjects are saying. Look carefully. And I'll put this link in the chat to what we were seeing here. They're saying goal to become tier 1 asset. Blah, and they're saying on July the 1st. Well, it's been a tier 1 since day 1. So that's not even, for us, all they're doing is announcing what always has been. It's just that they're letting each other know that, okay, the Moors have said this and the Moors have said that. Let's see, the 12-foot matriarch is placed in Times Square. Nobility, we did not know that, but that's good information. Someone put in the chat that a large honorarium to the matriarch was placed in Times Square.
Islam.
We are Islam nobility.
I put that in the chat. A 12-foot statue of the matriarch was put directly in Times Square, in what they called New York City, but the seat of Morocco Empire. Put it right in Times Square so everybody can see.
Yeah.
Big mama.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're totally not surprised. They're actually doing that at all the standing places, because Earth is the seat, and it's not even a seat because we don't sit, we stand. But we know what you're saying, nobility. We're correcting in our language as well, where the matriarch is concerned, because the announcement is being shouted from the rooftop, earth-wide. Yes, Justice Ogunwale, we will do that, Islam. Even the subjects and all are saying that all banks, as of July the 1st, all banks will have at least 60% gold in reserve at all banks starting July 1st. 60% gold, and I don't know what that other 40% will be. I think it's currency, and we're the ones dictating that. We're the ones putting that there because of what we stated regarding the Universal Postal Union having 40% currency, like Moorish sovereign dollarium and things of that nature, and contracts and agreements and documents. That's what the 40% is. And then, it's not foreign currency. It can't be foreign. There's nothing foreign on our land. Nothing foreign on our land. Everything is domestic for us. Everything earthwide is domestic. And then, if we choose to in the future to start putting some borders and parsing some borders and things. We may do that if we choose to do it later. But right now, earthwide, this earth is the Lord's, the fullness thereof, the world, and all of they that dwell therein. And the Lord is us. So, you know, right now, everything is going exactly as we stated. All of the laws that we've placed on the public record are continuing to manifest. It's already done, okay? It's already done. When we hear things like this and see things like this, we just know that everyone got the memo who was supposed to get the memo. The majority of us, none of us go in and pull out little green pieces of paper and start shuffling around. The majority of us don't do anything. So we know that's the end of the debt cycle. Now the subjects are saying the same thing. We've announced it.
Islam,
the
subject in the office of governor in Florida has honored this law.
Yes.
And people are very happy about this.
Yes.
Islam, I yield.
Yes, indeed. It's everywhere. But see, again, Morris, all we had to do was state it and then do it. State it and then we didn't need anyone's permission. To craft our own money and then start trading among ourselves and among everyone. We didn't need anyone's permission. We just had to do it. And everyone else would follow suit. So with that being stated, yes, all of those who were previously acting as states have moved aside, and now the subjects are saying, yes, we honor, yes, we honor, yes, we honor. The Constitution says gold, silver, and it's going to say in tender of payment. So tender is whatever we say it is. So if we say we're tendering in more $7 gold receipts, then we can tender in gold receipts, which we've been doing for years now. We've been trading in salt minerals and whatever else the Moors are willing to trade in. We've been trading, and that is our trading platform. Gold, silver, commodities, natural resources, and more $7 for accounting purposes. So, and again, that's been going on since, years, many years now. And I can say many years. Anything more than 5 is many. So it has been about 5 years that we've been doing our mercantile and exchanges, both lawful and legal, with our own currency, our own money. With that being stated, for those who are doing demonstrations with getting back conveyances that have been towed or repo or whatever the case may be, repossessed or whatever in those enactments. If you've been through that in those enactments and you will to have your, whatever it is, your vehicle, your automobile, and we prefer the word automobile or carriage, horseless carriage. Vehicle, we spell it a little different. If you will to make the proper claims and to have those be returned, we suggest, because we cannot tell you what to do, but we suggest that you stand and be the United States Travel and Transportation Ministry. The United States Travel and Transportation Ministry is a very powerful government arm. Anything that has to do with automobiles, quote unquote traffic, etc., should be governed by this arm. To retrieve automobiles that may have been towed, etc., or improperly or illegally taken, this is the mechanism to access the automobiles. Because we agreed on the law in this manner way back, we can now cancel and return all bills marked canceled, stating the Fifth Amendment law based on our identity. Okay, so for example, a red light, sometimes fake corporations will issue something using a quote-unquote red light camera or some camera that takes a photo in their enactment. It'll take a photo and issue, say, oh, you owe $150 for doing, 32 in a 30-mile-per-hour zone or some madness like that. Codes and statutes that are not real. What we do, since we've done all the work that we've done, we have our courts to cancel those types of bills, quote unquote. So what we do is we look at it and then we quote the Fifth Amendment. The Fifth Amendment states that the people shall not be held nor compelled to answer for a capital, because it's always going to be in all capital letters. And then what we do, and this is our process here, we'll just go ahead and number the process. This is number 1. And then number 2. So number 1, you will state the Fifth Amendment law based on our identity. We are the people, and the people shall not be held nor compelled. Compelled, it just means that someone is trying to coerce or, something of that nature, you to answer for a capital. And we say, no, we're not doing that. Be sure to put a hole in each corner of the bill. That's to sink the ship. Put a hole in each corner of that bill. And one in the middle to sink the ship before returning it to the proper subject and the proper address. We record the bills and add them to our estate credit account to keep an accounting of our books, actions, and property. And we just will to get further agreement from the Congress on this being the process by which fraudulent bills are canceled. And then what we do also is, this would be number 4. Number 3 would be to mark it canceled and the date of the cancellation. And when we mark it canceled, we cancel it in red because we're the creditor to it. So whatever the amount that the bill has on it, we just add that to our estate and say that we have canceled. Let's say if it's 150 notes that they were asking for that bill, we just say this is how much we've canceled this year, as it were. Because see, all the bills can be canceled, all of them, every fraudulent bill, it must be canceled. That's why, they kept saying something about cancel culture, cancel culture, cancel culture. No, we cancel all of that because it's all fraud. Okay, we did do a public announcement with regard to, and it's the United States Travel and Transportation Ministry that's doing the canceling. Okay, that is how we have agreed to do it, but we will to get agreement, and generally we spell it this way: Travel and Transportation Ministry. And sometimes we add that as well. Just a moment, let's make this. So first we state the Fifth Amendment. So the United States Travel and Transportation Ministry states the Fifth Amendment. The people shall not be held nor compelled to answer for capital. And then be sure to put a hole in each corner of the bill. Some of you, I know many of you, as you've been demonstrating over the years, have received something back in the mailings that was just, it seemed like it was just obliterated. Like, it's like they tore it up or ran it through a grinder or ran it over, or, you know, you received something back that was just mutilated. Well, they were attempting to enact sinking the ship, whatever the document is that you sent. And so that's what we're doing here is by putting holes in it. And I didn't have a hole puncher, so I just used a staple thing, and I just obliterated it basically, and put it in an envelope, send it back. But you know, because we're not answering for capital. Now, the difference again between that and, let's say, not cashing, but depositing a resource, is that you're claiming the resource. You're not answering for a capital. You're just claiming the resource. And then anything that's attempting to take fiat or extort fiat from you, you're saying, no, we're not going to answer for capital. We're not doing that. Okay. Islam nobility.
All right.
Go ahead. That's better.
Okay. All right. I was wondering if when you show cancellation, could you also show the document that we would use to cancel the debt?
Sure.
I guess, or the IRS document. You could add that into the steps that we need to take, because it seems like we need like the different 1099As, Cs, 96, the OID, for really doing the right process.
Mm-hmm. So we've shown where you restate those forms.
Right.
We've shown that in many previous videos. What we did was we just crafted an affidavit by the United States Travel and Transportation Ministry. But now that I think about it, nobility, that's adding a 1099-C, a restated 1099-C to that would be appropriate. So let's add that in as a step as well. A restated 1099-C, and we just say 1099 cancellation affidavit. Justice Akil, when you say 1099 OID, because see, we will to keep things as simple as possible. But see, that's the thing. When once we craft those documents, all we have to do is pull the document and fill it in. So that simplifies things as well. So Justice Akil, when you say 1099 OID, would that be you claiming that amount and adding it to your estate? Which that's what an OID would be, an original issue discount.
Could you please restate your question, because I lost I couldn't hear anything for a second there.
Sure.
I gotta turn this. Let me turn this up.
Justice Akil, if you'll just state the 1099s that you would use in order to do this demonstration here.
Okay, I guess what I've been actually learning and still am learning, trying to get a complete understanding. It looks like I would probably use the 1099 cancellation,
Mm-hmm.
The 1099 acquisition, the 1099 original issue discount, and the cover sheet, which is the 1096, and I see in some cases, I think it was also the 1040 or the 1041, because I remember you restating that at one point. I'm not sure how to do that particular demonstration, but I think let me see.
So the 1041T is a trust document, and once you send the 1041T and the 1041 and the 1041T, once you send that, once you notify the subject in the Office of Internal Revenue, you don't have to do that one anymore. We did that from the very beginning with our United States for America. And then when you have something that you are a bill that you're canceling, and then you're also claiming the discount, just the same documents, the 1099 cancellation affidavit, the 1099 original issue discount. The thing about the 1099 acquisition is that you're not really acquisitioning, you're not really claiming anything. You're not bringing anything in, any property in. You're just claiming the money, the discount. So that would be what the original issue discount would be. But if there's a bill sent for, let's say, your conveyance was towed, then you would do the 1099 acquisition, because you would be getting that back. 1099 acquisition restated, of course, 1099 original issue discount for that amount, and you would be canceling, what was done. Is that what you're referring to, Justice Akil?
Yeah, and also I was wondering, where would the
how about you just don't be stupid enough to have your vehicle towed?
The 1099 B for lender and receiver parts of the 1099 B.
If you have a lender, or because you're the lender,
right?
So
okay.
So I don't see where that would come in, unless you just want to state that you're the lender. What would be the purpose of that document is my question. You said 1099.
I was asking. I was really trying to get an understanding from what your purpose would be to use the 1099-B, because I've seen people use it, but I'm still learning the process.
I wouldn't use it for anything with regard to what we're talking about here, where the Travel and Transportation Ministry is getting something back, is retrieving or recovering property.
Okay. Islam, I understand.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Justice Akil, because these are important when it comes to the proper process for getting things back. And then we definitely stamp that thing cancel, because we're not giving any fiat at all. Empress Nabi, you said you had a question as well.
Islam, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I had a question regarding the travel ID or license. Did we change? I'm redoing something for my ears. Did we change it to say United States Travel and Transportation Ministry?
You mean the driver's license that we issue?
Yes.
It was on the back.
All right. Okay. I wanted to make sure if it was on the front or the back. Okay. Gotcha. That's
it. Was on the back. Yeah. Islam.
Got it.
Islam.
Justice.
All right, so work with me now. Because my mind tends to work a little different from everybody else. I like logic. Okay. So I went to a bank. They claimed to give me a car on credit. Then I stopped paying. They repossessed the car. They're sending me a bill that I owe the balance that they didn't make enough selling back the vehicle. Now, what are you saying? So give me the scenario. Give me the process from that description that I've just outlined.
So they just did this process on the all caps name. That's all they did. All they did was canceled. They did a 1099 cancellation on the original contract, quote unquote. Okay. Then they did a 1099 acquisition to get the thing back, to get the property back. Claiming to be the creditor, so they did a 1099 OID, claiming to be the creditor, and they claimed that amount back. And then they said, okay, they sold it for fiat and did not get that whole total amount back. So now they're trying to tell you that you're the original debtor instead of the original creditor. Okay? They did this in reverse on the all caps. So what you will to do is number one, look at number one, Justice Willie. The people shall not be held nor compelled to answer for a capital. They did all of that using a voodoo doll as the all caps. Because it's not you. But Morris, we have to know to restate the contracts within 3 days. Within 3 days, we must do this process to cancel anything. Okay? Because we can't be held nor compelled to answer for capital. So, Justice Willie, you see these four steps here. That is what you would do to get the property back. But see, it has to go through the United States, which you are the United States Travel and Transportation Ministry. You have to cancel the original contract. That's what the 3-day cancellation and revocation is all about.
But in the case that I painted to you, it would have been like maybe a year and a half afterward, after the car has been repossessed.
Okay, so there's no statute of limitations on that type of fraud because, again, it was done in all capital letters. So to obtain back your property, these processes have to be done because, see, that's what they did to come and retake the property in the first place. That's what they did. They did this process right here, except they used the fiat system to do it. So as long as we agree on this process, the process will be honored on getting back the things that rightfully belong to you. And it doesn't matter how long ago it was, you still, even then, were not an all capitalized person. You were not an all capitalized person. The question is, though, Justice Willie, You know, do we will to have those things back? Some of that stuff we don't will to have it back because it's not in the condition. You know, we have to be made whole, or you know, our not us be made whole, but our person must be made whole.
That's law.
So we have to state how that happens. We have to state how that happens. Because in many cases they can keep the vessel because it's, you know, it may be, you know, not in the condition that we will for it to be in, but we must make ourselves whole. We must make our own persons whole.
And they would have sold it, so they don't have it in their possession again anyway.
Well, but you know what? They can't sell it if you didn't give them permission to sell it. They can't sell it. You know why? Because fiat is not real. It's not according to the Fifth Amendment, they would have had to sell it in all capital letters. They can't do that. You can still claim it, is what I'm saying. You can still claim it back, and nothing is sold. It's like our land. Our land never went anywhere. We thought it was sold, but it's still here. And these processes that we're doing, the conveyance, the vehicle, the automobile, it doesn't matter whether they said they sold it or not. In this thing, it will come right back to you the way you will for it to come back to you. Because see, it's almost like if they say it's sold, it's really stolen. So you're back to claiming it properly anyway.
Right.
So we don't even worry about whether it's quote unquote sold or not. We don't, because they can't.
All right. Next question. Follow up. Since as there are so many entities that get involved with this process, with taking the vehicle, because you have the bank, you have the dealership, you have the car, the repossession company, the court that they claim to may have gone to get the authority to come and take it back. So who are we sending our document? I know, who are we sending the process to claim back the vehicle? Is it the court? Is it the bank? Is it where?
Okay. So none of those are who they say they are. Okay, none of those. There's no bank, no court, no company or anything. So
point of interest.
Islam.
Islam is. What about the sheriff, the fake sheriff?
So that's why these processes are important. We must know the process, and when we know the process, the property will come back. It will come back. We would notify the subjects in the office of sheriff to what you're stating. They're not real sheriffs at all. We put them in subject status and notify our office that this is what our office is doing. And when we notify the subjects that this is what our office and our system is doing, then we'll be able to arrange to have it come back. But we have to do the arranging. We have to do the arranging. And all of that is done by court action. To Justice Willie's question, our courts must speak to Justice Willie. If you speak to, if the court addresses just one quote unquote subject in the office of entity, and you say all agents, principals, heirs, assigns, and any derivatives thereof, then you're going to get everybody else.
Notice the agent is notice the principal.
Yes. You're going to get everybody else.
I'm just wondering, where's the best one? Where's the best one to start? Is it the sheriff? Is it the bank? Is it the repossessors? Is it the attorney general? Because there are so many of them involved in the fraudulent thing against the people. It's not funny.
So there's really only one that's involved. They don't have any of those titles. They're all subjects. So that means that's going to break everything down. It's going to clarify things when we stop giving them titles. Clarify, clarify, clarify. They're not sheriffs. They're not loan officers. They're not banks. They're none of that. That's going to simplify the process for you in your mind when you get that part in your mind. The reason why it simplifies things when we strip all those titles away, because they don't have them, we strip them all away. Now who are we looking at? I don't care where they're at. Who are we looking at? Subjects, 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 subjects. So all we have to do is speak to one, a subject in the office of CEO of the bank. Okay? Speak to that one, and that one will notify all others. See, removing all those titles simplifies everything for us. That's why it's important to do it, including those that were acting as sheriffs and pretending to be sheriffs. Remove all of that, and they're all subject in the office of this or that, because those offices belong to us. We created them. So now when you could send these processes to a subject in the office of sheriff and not say anything to any of the rest of them. As long as you say agents, principals, heirs, assigns, or all subjects are to be notified. That's going to get everybody else. That's the way this system works. That's the way this system works. You'll get everyone when you say all subjects, pay attention. This is the law. Fifth Amendment, the people shall not be held nor compelled to answer for capital. And then you notify. We did that this past, in the last few weeks, we did that. We notified one area and all kinds of other stuff started correcting around other places, started correcting when we've sent that out to just one subject in the office of police. Everything else started correcting. And then subjects started saying, oh, we don't have jurisdiction over this and that, and we don't, you know. So it's back to where it should be. Just notify one subject in the office of whatever about that event, and then tell them, notice to all subjects. Because, see, I used to say notice to agent is notice to principal, but we're the principals for everything. So we already know. So I just say notice to all subjects, period. Because I'm not even giving them the title of agent or principal. They don't even get that from me. They're not getting any titles, subject, period. No courts but ours. No judges, no justices, nothing, because that simplifies things. It simplifies everything. Because then you don't have to worry about how many of them. Oh, I forgot to notify the finance company. Well, that's not who that is. Those are subjects. Oh, I forgot to notify this and that. No. Once you notify one set of subjects, that's public. That's putting it on the public record when you notify the subjects in the office of whatever office it is, because all the offices are public servant or public subject offices. They're public offices. So once you notify one, the rest of them are automatically notified by law, because that's how our system works. So don't complicate things. Let's simplify. Let's simplify, because, see, you know, most of us, we were doing 40 and 50 and 100-page affidavits when we first started this work. We've done so much work. Now let's simplify. For those who've done the work, let's simplify. And most of us have. Let's simplify. Because guess what? We're speaking above their pay grade anyway. Islam.
Ask her to open the meeting. Don't do it now.
I'll open the meeting.
You open.
Go ahead and present it.
That's not what I wanted, but okay, cool. She's opening it, sweetheart. Anyway, so let me get my thoughts here. When my office leaned the subjects in the office of county, shortly after that, another county decided to deem the people they called them landlords. They deemed them now housing providers. So they're no longer called landlords, they're housing providers. And it was shortly after I had leaned that county. And I thought to myself, this must affect all of them at that point. Once Moores put those lien on one, it means all of them. Am I correct? Okay. That's
Earth-wide.
Earth-wide. Oh.
Not just where you are, everywhere.
Oh, my gosh. Lovely, lovely, beautiful, beautiful. It's
Empress Cynthia, let me just say this about that, too. Once we're competent and we're unified like we are, we speak with one voice. That's how this works. So wherever we are, when competent Moors stand and speak, because see, one of the characteristics of competence is that we don't walk alone. We all speak with one voice together. That's a competent thing. Yes, we're sovereign, we know that. And we govern our affairs sovereignly, we know that. But everyone, we speak with one voice together, just like we think with the one great mind. So, Empress Cynthia, when you do something on your end over there, it's called quantum entanglement. It affects the whole universe.
You know something? It's interesting that you mentioned that because I had the same theme today.
Go ahead, nobility.
I had the same theme to begin my trust class
we
today.
Love to see you around.
Listen what this guy made me laugh. Listen what it said. It says, the saying,
one stupid.
the saying, there is power in numbers means that people are stronger, more influential, and more effective when they unite or act together rather than individually. Here's a breakdown of its meaning. Power refers to strength, influence, or the ability to create change. Numbers refer to a group of people, usually many individuals, coming together. So when people join forces, whether in protest, teamwork, community effort, or even group buying, they often have more impact than they would alone. I yield.
You know, Justice Willie, that's awesome. Whenever I hear things like that, I already know that for the sovereigns, it's always going to be slightly different from what you read. It's powerful. What you read is powerful. However, with the sovereigns, we're just as powerful when we stand sovereign as we are with each other. It's just that this that we decided to do together, to come together and rule the earth, that's what the unity is about. We agreed that we would come and rule the earth together, you know. And so that's why, you know, when we thought we were Negro, Black, Colored, and African American, it was like, oh, that's like crabs in a bucket. They just fight each other and fight each other. And then we got East Coast rappers and West Coast rappers fighting each other and killing each other, Biggie and Tupac, and, you know, Housewives of Atlanta just scrapping and fighting and going back and forth, blah, 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 blah. Not over here. Over here we rule together, you know. And that's why we do things the way that we do it. So when one of us speaks, It's going to affect things for all of us. I think about some of the Moors who I've been just kind of watching the way things have developed. And some of the Moors who are not even a part of what we're doing are being blissed by what we're doing. It's making things easier for them because of what we're doing. The one great mind, the one great energy. We have no enemies. We have no enemies. I know some don't believe that, but we have no enemies. All we have is each other and our subjects. Period. That's it. So, do we agree that this is the process? I really, when I see all of the 1099 action, I'm just like, okay, do we have to do that much paperwork again? Based on what we put all that stuff on the public record, I'm going to let the Spirit lead me on that because we've done so much already. We even did it's like a universal 1099 cancellation for all debt. But we do know that all law is specific as well. So let the Spirit lead you on how to demonstrate and not demonstrate, how to actuate these steps. We've done so much. I just keep my cancellation stamp, canceled May 3rd or May 5th or whatever. I keep that handy with red ink. So yeah, because we don't want to just bury ourselves in paperwork, even though it's a lot. We've done a lot of work, a lot. And I do not will to just spend years and years and years in nothing but paperwork, never enjoying the estate because we're doing so much paperwork. And that is not our will. So we're simplifying. We've done so much for 7 years straight. We've done things, so we're simplifying now. Islam.
So my question is, with this process, the remedy is how do we tie in the remedy if we don't have, let's say if you took out all the 1099s, how do you still provide the remedy, and then how do we tie in a place for either the credit or, like you showed a couple of weeks ago, like you showed the check, the treasury check.
Mm-hmm.
How do we show? Do we tie in the legacy account, or routing numbers or account numbers where the IRS can send funds or credit to? How does all that will work if we don't have the 1099 process?
You are keeping your own banking records, are you not?
Right, but if I keep the banking records,
mm-hmm.
Let's say like this, I don't have the things, the possessions, the material things that I need. I may have the records, but how do I equate that to what we need to function? Because we're doing a lot of paperwork, we're doing a lot of calculations, and the numbers are getting really big.
Yeah.
But then when it comes time to actually use these numbers, how do we get, like you just said, enjoy what we're doing with the possessions that we need?
That is a great question. So the ancestors, and this is something that we did even this week, and the ancestors impressed this on us this week. The ancestors willed that we do the process. Just do the process. The process has to be done first, properly, correctly, because at a certain time, and we see it already manifesting, at a certain time, that part of the estate is going to manifest, but we have to show that we know how to deal with it already. That's what this is we are declaring the end at the beginning. In other words, we're showing how things are done before it manifests. It's done, but it has to manifest. Our ancestors willed that we agree on the processes, demonstrate the process, and then let the ancestors do what they do in terms of, just like what we showed you at the beginning of this Congress, where now even the subjects are saying, okay, gold and silver as of July 1st, gold and silver at the banks and everything, gold and silver. Let the system do what it's supposed to do, which is, with competent heirs comes action by the system. That's how it happens. I'll give you an example of something that I did this week, as a matter of fact. Let's see, do I want to mention that? I'll mention something else. We've been talking about our banking, Justice Akil. Whatever your situation is, whatever it is that you're dealing with, you must do the demonstration first before everything manifests. If you're waiting for someone else to do it so you can look and say, oh, it worked for her, then I'll do this. No, do what the Spirit is telling you to do for your situation, whatever it is, and then let the Spirit do the rest. But you must demonstrate each level of competence, in order to get things back. One thing I've noticed about the ancestors is that once we show that we're competent at a process, it's after we show the competence, and we've been saying this for years, after we show the competence, then they say, okay, here, you can have that, because you've proven competence. It's just like it was in school. We're given the test, and once we pass the test, then okay, we can move past that part. We got that already. We don't have to worry about that anymore. And then the access happens. It's spiritual first. So this is a great example. When we were in our sleep, we would go to work every day and just have faith that we were going to get a paycheck at the end of the 2-week period. We didn't stop going thinking, well, maybe we won't get a paycheck. We didn't stop going. We went until that day came. Same thing here. We're going to continue to be ourselves and demonstrate, because this is our life. This is not something we do and then don't do, and then do and then don't do. This is who we are. So we have to be ourselves at all times. We must demonstrate. And let the system do what it's been doing. But see, most of us, if what we were doing wasn't working, most of us would be in jail by now. I know that old capitalism was trying to hem us up, but we're not their person. We own person. Think about that. Think about where we would be doing all the things we've done if it didn't work. Look at all the videos, all the court actions, all the naming and claiming, and all of that we've done. And the majority of us have done POW demonstrations, power demonstrations, jail demonstrations, and all of that. And here we stand. So we know it works. Now you're looking at things. Now you're looking at automobiles and houses and property and things of that nature. Okay, that's fine. Let's conquer that. Let's get that part done. Governing in a state this vast is going to it takes doing. Because you got to remember, most of us are a little bit more mature in numbers, in age numbers, in our 30s and 40s and 50s, whereas the system was quote unquote operating from when we were born. So we have to give ourselves time to make that connection, and keep. We have to keep going. We have to keep going. And the things will manifest. They're manifesting already. But it starts with our freedom first. These bodies being free first. Then comes the things. Islam, Empress.
Islam. I was wondering, what are the likelihood as us as Moors, because I know in spirit and in truth we are all gathering together and we are uniting on a higher scale than previously. So what are the likelihood of us possibly coming together with those in Africa, so-called Africa, uniting together and possibly creating something greater?
They're already with us.
Okay.
If you go back and listen to some of the previous services, you will hear them. They're already with us. We're already united with them.
Right. We're vibrating on a high scale, and yes, we are working symbiotically together, and I know that. But on the physical aspect of it, I was just thinking on that level that, okay, it'll just manifest, I suppose, sooner than later.
Yes, Empress, much sooner than later. But see, and this is where we are with even that thought process. Our thought process is this. We say, and we've stated that we're the heirs to all land, all natural resources, and all commerce. That must manifest in order for anybody else to even believe us when we say things like that. So for us, we've just made an agreement that, economically, materially, financially, and all other, where abundance and prosperity is concerned, we've made the agreement to manifest that, so that when we do speak and state who we are, sometimes we won't even have to say it. People will just know, because the fruits are there, because people know us by our fruit. Not just characteristics in who we are, but what we display and what we manifest. So those that are at the other Africa, they're already with us. We've heard from them for years. We've heard from them. And we have to acknowledge that it's there before it manifests. And that's back to Justice Akil's question. We have to know that the stuff is already ours before it says, yes, I'm already yours. We have to know it. How do you know it? The processes, the competence to govern it. Justice Akil, do you know that everything, all the automobiles and all of that, do you know that all of that is already yours?
Islam. I know it. It's just a matter of being able to actually use it.
Yeah. Yes. That's what the processes are about. Will you know what to do with it when you get it is what the processes are about.
Humbly.
The ancestors.
Humbly.
Let's just think about let's just use a conveyance, an automobile as an example, because I've been thinking on that one also. Do we know how to repair them? Do we know where to get parts from? Do we know how to fill them up with fuel? Before we get them, do we know how to do all of that without compromise? Do we know how to do all of that without contracting illegally? Because
No.
see, we're already there. We're already there. We're already there. And we actually know how to do that if we just continue to do it. But see, we have to be doing it. We have to be doing it before the stuff even got here. We had to be doing it. And some people are waiting for the conveyance to come before they do that. It'll never get here. You must be demonstrating who you are already. Same thing happened in quote-unquote corporate America. You didn't get a promotion until you could show that you could do the job.
That's why we got to keep leaning all our gas stations so we can put the fuel in the conveyance. We got to lean the auto mechanic shop so that we can get the conveyances fixed, etc. So,
listen, there are Moors who know how to fix. Is someone saying something? No? Okay. There are Moors who know how to fix conveyances. I don't care what kind it is, Tesla, Mercedes, whatever it is. There are Moors who know how to do that. Like they can do it in their sleep. I see them all the time. They can do it in their sleep. So that's not even an issue. For us, and from our perspective, it was how do we pay them? That was what we came to do, is manifest how we reward them for their knowledge and for their abilities and skills. So that's why we focused on banking and money and manifesting those things. Did you know, and I'll just show you this about the gas thing, this is something that the ancestors showed us. And yes, Justice Akil, you're correct. We do have to continue speaking to the system. But let me see if I can get this brother up here. See if I can get here he is. This brother right here in North Carolina, he is in his backyard. Just a moment. This brother is in his backyard making gas out of plastic. All he's doing is heating it up. Because did you know that plastic becomes gasoline when you heat it up? This brother's been doing it for a few years now. And it doesn't even matter what kind of motor it is. It can be a lawnmower, a truck, a car. It doesn't even matter. His one product fits all of them. And then he has another one where he calls it it's a diesel alternative. He says an alternative, but those are the real things that he's manufacturing there, that he's making there. Young brother, young Moore. He's making, look at his surroundings. We don't see diamonds glistening everywhere. It's trash cans in the back and stuff where he's housing the plastic, but he's making gas and he's traveling all over, putting it in people's vehicles.
Yeah, so be careful though.
He had a little accident a couple of years back. We've been watching him too. The ancestors have put certain, everything that we need is found within us, within who we are.
What I'm saying is, a lot of time our people who are very creative and innovative come up with a lot of stuff, and these bad-minded people, covetous people, try to stop them patenting things, and before you know it, they try and do all kind of stuff.
Okay, so no. Okay, let's hold on for just a moment. with the spells.
Okay.
Because I'm a speller. I cast and break spells. With our words, we do that. We all do. Let me say this about that. This is our time, so no one's going to stop it. It's impossible to stop us. It's impossible to stop us. This brother doesn't even know that he's original and indigenous yet. He doesn't know it yet. But one of the foreigners asked him, is he afraid of the government trying to stop him? He was just as bold. He was like, no, not afraid at all, because I've been inspired to do this and I'm going to do it. The great mind is speaking to him, and he hadn't even declared his nationality. The great mind has told him, don't be afraid, just move, just do it. Because see, all this other stuff is going to catch up with him. It's going to catch up with him. Nationality is going to present.
Islam.
He's very creative. Islam, nobility.
I've been following him for a long time. He's been running with Nature Boy for many years. They've been woke for a long time. They've been awake. Okay. They were living in South America, even in nature. So these guys are fully aware, and they're equipped. They're aware of themselves. So I know he's gonna be just fine.
Oh yeah, he's listening to the spirit. That was the thing that I heard, was he was listening to the spirit. And anytime you listen to the spirit, he's directly connected to the ancient ancestral energies. It's a wrap.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, he knows his stuff.
Yeah. And see, that's what I'm saying. Every one of us and our creativity and all of that. So we ain't worried about nothing. And anybody that's worried about it and, they can come and do this and that, you need to get your spirit right, because can't nobody stop us, period. And here's the thing. They're moving out of our way because they know they can't, that they're not even trying to stop us. That's the thing.
Well, the radiation is doing its work. And it's going to continue to do its work. So we don't have anything to worry about.
Nature takes her course, period. So we're not even worried about any of that. And again, if you're one of those people, whoever it is, if any of us is one of those people that thinks that somebody can come and stop, or foreign or whatever, pale, whatever the case may be, you need to get your spirit right, so that you will know that they can't do that. They know better than you do that they can't do it. You need to know. Get with the spirit, so the spirit can show you and teach you that you cannot be stopped. Because see, what people don't realize is we've been here for trillions and trillions and trillions of years. This ain't new. It's not new. We're not new. These scenarios are not new. The only thing that's modern is the ones you think are your foes. And they're not your foes. A foe has to at least be equal in terms of power and might in order to present as a foe. And the only foe you've ever had was within you. That's according to chapter 1 of the Circle 7. Other than that, you have no foes. And once you become at peace within you, you don't have a foe in there either. That's why I say we don't have any foes. And with this particular Congress, we ensure that we don't let people go on and on giving glory to it's like shadow boxing in the street. We don't want you to be looking stupid on here, talking about somebody that can stop you. That's just stupid. It's just stupid. It'll never happen. Never has and never will. So we just want to make sure that, everybody knows. Islam, nobility.
I was inquiring about the mailing green card. which box do you check, if any?
I put blue X's at the signature part. That's all I do. I don't check any boxes like adult signature or certified return signature and all of that. I don't check any of that. I just put a blue X on the signature line and a blue X on the where they're supposed to write their name.
Indeed.
Yeah. Yeah, no one can stop us. And any of us that think somebody can stop us, you need to get in touch and all you got to do is look at your past and look at your future, and you'll know nobody can stop you. Look at your past. Pyramids everywhere, attached to the heavens. Who stopped it? Nobody. They don't even know how a pyramid was made. But we got them lined up with the stars. Who can stop you? Nobody. So, yeah. And the ones, they may not call themselves Moors at this time, but this bloodline is awake. The bloodline is awake. You see? Yes, Maxwell Chicambuso. Yes, indeed. The whole bloodline is awake, and the creativity and the knowing, because it's in the great mind. Everything is simplifying. Who knew that all the plastic that we use could just be thrown into a container, set on fire, and turn into gas? But they got you looking at a gas station like it's gonna like if they close it, you ain't gonna be able to eat. Really? No, not really. That's not real. Shortage is not real. Lack and poverty is not real on this land. It's enough animals and plants out there for everybody to eat for 1,000 years minimum. And that's eating 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And who does that? No such thing as lack and poverty. No such thing. All we have to do is keep doing what we're doing. So, do we agree that this is the process, give or take, according to how the Spirit leads you? Do we agree that this is the process for bills such as Islam nobility?
Debate. I agree.
Islam. Thank you, nobility. Where 2 or 3 agree. Islam. I agree. Islam, Empress Nabi. We hear some nobility back there. Islam, Empress Shasha.
I'm looking at this. I agree. I affirm. I'm looking at this, and the United States Travel and Transportation Ministry. But that covers, we're talking automobiles and that and the like here, but that covers everything.
It does.
Because it's all about these
movement.
Movement. So any bill comes under this, because commerce, I'm looking at the word traffic, which means commerce.
Yes.
So it's everything. It's everything. And I affirm. Chief Justice Shasha Ann Banks, Sharon Ann Pierre Johnson, Jamaica, I affirm.
Empress Shasha, you're so smart. I just love you because your brain is always working. I don't care where we are. I don't care what we're talking about. That brain is gold. It's real.
Fiat's the only real money in the entire world.
Oh, yeah, I tell you, agree.
Yes, indeed.
Islam. Justice Cynthia Ann Bay, Khalifa Territory, I affirm.
Yes, thank you, Empress Cynthia. Indeed.
Islam Empress.
Yes, Justice.
Peace and great grand rising. Chief Justice Anthony Jetty Singh.
Another dumb bitch, another fucking idiot. Fucking idiots. God, we got so much.
Go ahead, Nobility.
I affirm.
Islam. Thank you, Nobility.
Islam Empress.
Islam, Empress Imani.
I have a question, and I think you were about to state it, but however, would this process include the bills that we get, like the water bill, gas bill, the electrical, the electric bills?
Does it?
No, I'm trying to verify, actually. So that's why I'm having a question, to make sure that it's not just.
Okay, so let's look at your question, and that will assist in answering it from within you. Is there traffic or movement with utilities? Is there traffic or movement with utilities?
Now, when you put it that way, I would say that there's traffic, but I'm clarifying because of the, what the heading says, and to make sure that it's not simply exclusive to conveyances. So that's only the reason why I'm clarifying.
Thank you for that clarification, Empress, because I'm sure other people had that same question about this. Electricity travels across the line. Water travels through the pipes. Gas travels through the pipes as well. It still travels. It still travels.
That's a true hater.
Any type of movement. Islam, Justice Akil.
Islam, perfect. Islam, I yield.
Islam.
I affirm with the United States Travel and Transportation Ministry, live from Shackleton, land mass of Federalle.
Islam.
Islam.
Islam, Nobility.
Ronnie L. Bay, Florida Territory, I affirm.
Islam, thank you, Nobility.
Islam.
Islam.
Islam, Empress Shernette, and then the Noble.
Shernette L., Cancellationne Territory, I affirm.
Islam, thank you, Empress. Justice Mosey, yes, Islam.
Islam, Chief Justice Mosey Bay, Illinois Territory, I affirm.
Islam, thank you, Nobility.
Islam.
Islam.
Islam, Chief Justice Tonos Alajah Bay, Khalifa Territory, I affirm.
Islam. Thank you.
Islam.
Go ahead, Empress Karima.
Islam. Empress Karima Bay of Virginia, I affirm.
Islam. Thank you, Empress. It's great to hear your voice, Empress Karima, as well.
Islam. Thank you. Gratitude.
Islam.
Islam.
Islam, Justice Nate.
Chief Justice of the Bay, Satrapy Territory, Manhattan Territory, we affirm.
Islam. Islam, Chief Justice Imani.
Chief Justice Imani Faraha Bay, I affirm. Colorado Territory.
Islam. Thank you, Empress.
Islam.
Islam, Justice, is that Justice Council?
That's correct.
Yes.
Islam, Consultative Bay, United Kingdom Territory, I affirm.
Islam, thank you, Nobility. Great to hear your voice as well.
Likewise.
Islam.
Islam, Justice Willie.
So before I give my affirmation, I'd like to know, is this an experiment? Is this, are we saying that this is something that we have tried and it has worked, or we're going to try, we're going to implement it for it to work? I just need clarification on that.
The clarification is this: is your word the law? That's the question. Is your word the law?
Okay, so it is, okay. All right, I affirm on that basis.
Yes, Islam. So I will also add to that we have done this demonstration and it worked.
Well, that's exactly what I was getting at. Thank you. That's exactly what I was getting at. That it is not an experiment. It is tried, tested, and proven.
We are more scientists. I will say that.
Okay.
But what our ancestors have what we all agreed to do when we came here is to do the science.
Yeah.
And when something works, make it the law. And when we make it the law, then
and that's exactly right, because in Congress they are presented with a bill, and then they passed as law when everybody affirms. So yeah.
This is the only Congress. And when I say the only, the Moors are the only Congress. Those who know who they are the only Congress. The original indigenous people are the only Congress at Earth. So yes, that is the process for getting things done.
And we have complete freedom to redesign stuff too. That's what I'm excited about.
Yes, absolutely. Oh yes, absolutely. We can come back a year from now and change this and it's a different process if we choose to. We can come back next week and do it. We just all that it is our ancestors just say, just come together, agree, and then do it. Islam Justice Malik.
Islam Justice Malik, Akil Bay, Illinois Territories. I affirm.
Islam, thank you, Nobility. Great to hear your voice as well. You all's voices are just music to my ears and to my soul, just so that you all know that. Islam. Islam, Justice Nate and Justice Maurice.
Seeing this right here, what we do on our territory, we do a memorandum and send it straight to the subjects of this, and that's going to be the operation here at Satchby territory.
Islam.
Islam.
There you have it. Islam. We just will to honor our system and honor the process, so Islam and then let the spirit do the rest. Islam. Justice Maurice, I believe.
Indeed. Justice Maurice Lloydale in Alabama territory. I affirm.
Islam. I just love that. Y'all voices are just, it's like an orchestra playing to my soul. Islam. I just love us so much. You don't know how many times I'm saying that around here when I'm around this domicile. I just think I just love us. I love us. Islam.
Your Islam?
Islam, Justice G.
C. Certainel, Florida Territory. I affirm.
Islam. Thank you, Nobility.
Islam.
Islam, Empress.
Angela Mahatkabade, Canaan Land Territory. I affirm.
Islam, Empress. Thank you.
Islam.
Islam, Justice Ogunmale.
I might have some bad connections. Hold on.
Go ahead, Nobility. Go ahead and do what you do.
Ogunwole, Supreme Seven Solutionaire, I affirm.
Islam. Thank you, Nobility. You may have two instruments like maybe a phone and a computer, you just have to mute one of them when you get ready to.
The other one I can't speak to for some reason.
Okay. Islam. Ooh, we've been there. That's for sure.
Islam.
Islam. Empress Rose Tao.
Rose Tao El Shabaste in Canaan territory. I affirm.
Islam. Thank you, Empress.
Thank you.
We honor you and happy Matriarchs Day to you.
Thank you and happy Matriarchs Day from my heart.
I can feel you, Empress. I feel it. Islam, indeed.
Islam.
We honor you. We do. Islam. Chief Justice Pauline Denise Ritchie, I affirm as well. Islam. Okay. Whew. It's a wrap. For those who may or may not be familiar with the, which I know most are, familiar with the United States Travel and Transportation Ministry, I'll put a link in the chat so that you can take a look at one of our, it was about a 2-minute and 15-second public announcement that we did about a year or two ago when we first began, movement with the United States Travel and Transportation Ministry. So that you can see that we are in fact and at law governing according to the Constitution using gold and silver and more sovereign delarium, of course, as well. Islam. Now, oh, good word. Okay, we're not going to be too long on this particular topic. The subjects, well, and I'll just say the subjects are not worried, but the actors are worried. So we've spoken previously about something called the Great Taking. The Great Taking it has to do with who owns all the property, all land, all natural resources, and all commerce. And there are some who are worried that their homes and domiciles and cars and properties and lands are going to be taken, which is not theirs because if they don't have the title to it. So I don't really know what the big deal is with that. But I do know this, that all of the claims of those that are worried about something called the Great Taking is based on the Fifth Amendment, by the way. So they really should be calling it the Fifth Amendment Great Taking. What is that? That means that everything that's in all capital letters, everything that was obtained using foreign capitalism can be physically taken by the people and given we're the people. Okay? Now, everyone knew that because we have the title to everything. Everyone has always known that. But it is at this time that the foreigners who came here and, those who came here are saying, oh, this farm has been in our family, quote unquote, for, 75 years and so on and so forth. Well, we get what you're saying. Okay. The law is the law and our systems are our system. Okay. Because we could easily turn around and say, but that land has been a part of our estate since time immemorial. So not just 75 years, not just 400 years, not just 1,000 years, but since time immemorial, the land has always been ours. It's never been anyone else's. And so the Great Taking has to do with the Federal Reserve. Because that is where, and let me just call that an enactment, the Federal Reserve enactment, the corporation that was acting as if it was the Federal Reserve, began issuing all of that capitalized stuff, all of those invalid documents. Okay? That's where fiat came from. Fiat is not even, okay, so U.S. debt notes, U.S. fiat doesn't even come from even a fake treasury. It was being enacted from that thing that was doing business as the Federal Reserve Corporation. That's why it has capital letters all over it. And that's why it says this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private, when it's really even not that anymore. So why are we talking about this again now? We're talking about this, and we're going to continue to talk about the suspension of capitalism, because this is the basis for the difference between persons and people, and how everything, according to the Constitution and the treaties, everything belongs to the people. And the people have senior claim. I'm going to place this link in the chat because this video that we're placing in the chat now, this link here, let me put it in there 2 more times. There. This link that we're putting in the chat, this video was the most comprehensive enactment that I have seen regarding the thought process behind the Great Taking. Okay, so if you watch that video, even if you don't understand everything all at once, it was worth watching just to hear the subjects talk about what it is that's bothering them about the status. We're going to give a brief explanation of what really happened, okay? We changed the spelling of the word foreign for this presentment, and permanently, really, because the way that the word foreign was spelled before, it was saying that someone reigned before. In other words, they were saying for reign. That means they reigned before, and that never happened. No one ever reigned before us. So we changed it to foreign. The capitalized foreign Federal Reserve corporations gave the illusion that the living original creditor was absent from the estate by incompetence or death or debt. Okay, so that has to do with status. It gave the illusion that the living original creditor was absent, like we were not, like we didn't exist, like we had left and weren't coming back for our things, for our estate. It's an illusion. It was an illusion. Number 2, it gave the illusion that its capitalized contracts were valid, although they were not ever valid. Just because something is capitalized doesn't make it valid. Number 3, the capitalized foreign Federal Reserve corporations gave the illusion that they could contract on equal footing over property and wealth, which is absolutely not true. Number 4, it gave the illusion that they, and when we say they, we're talking about foreigners who came here and used capitalization to do things. Gave the illusion that they could control property, resources, wealth, and most importantly, persons. Because, see, we thought we were persons when we were growing up. The capitalized foreign Federal Reserve corporations gave the illusion of authority. And number 6, gave the illusion of status, and that's really what that thing was all about. The capitalized foreign Federal Reserve corporations, corpses, in all capital letters in black ink, gave the illusion that those who were really subject on our land were pretending to be landlords and wealthy and chiefs, police, government, offices, officers, banks, mortgage companies, car loan companies, and things like that. Only by capital letters and black ink did anyone think that that illusion had some authority, when it does not. That's what the Fifth Amendment is all about. The takings clause. That's what the Fifth Amendment is called. It's called the takings clause. And the reason it's called the takings clause is because we have suspended capitalization and capitalism. We suspended it. What does that mean? That means that we're in creditor status. Not in, but we are the creditors. And we're stating openly on the record that we know we're the living original creditors. And that we're not answering for a capital. So what was the purpose of the Federal Reserve Act and the Federal Reserve Corporation enactment? What was that all about? Okay. So when the foreigners came here, they had no status. They were stateless. Stateless. There was no way for them to obtain anything without getting it directly from us. Okay, then so from stateless, when they came here, we said, okay, you all can be subjects on our land. You don't have to be stateless. You can be subjects here. Enter Jekyll Island and the actors and foreign capitalism. So in 1913, some of us, Moors, and some of the subjects got together and said, this is what's going to happen. There are some actors, and everything that is being done, the actors have to do it in all capital letters and black ink. So those at Jekyll Island, and Jekyll, we know there was no J in the previous, in the Hebrew and the original alphabet. So it's really Jekyll Island. Agreed to change the spelling and meaning of every word by capitalizing those words. So every word that they knew how to write, they could pretend to be equal to the lords for the land where contracts are concerned. So they had no status, so they enacted getting a status by using capitalism and giving themselves titles like, and they didn't give it to themselves, we had to permit it. If they put judge in all capital letters, then they were acting as a judge. And the only way they could collect anything or anything is to go through the fake Federal Reserve Corporation. But they couldn't even do it then if we didn't sign. We had to agree.
I have a point of interest in regards to what was just stated.
Yes,
Islam. So my question is, in correlation with the Cestive Act, where they deemed everyone as a corporation on the Queen's end of things, I'm just wondering how that tied together.
So how the 1666 Cestive v. Trust Act happened, how that ties in with this is when we began introducing banking onto our land, banking here and commerce here, because see, before we didn't use before 1666, we did not allow others to come here and do things. We were doing everything here. So Cestive made it so that, quote unquote, all men created by the Cestive are created equal. That's where all of that came from. It was supposedly a biblical enactment that everyone is equal now because everyone has a Cestive trust in all capital letters and black ink that they can use to do things. And we, the Moors, said, okay, we'll allow that, but just know that we're not your citizen. That's 13th Amendment. We're not your citizen. We can never be citizens. But that's what that is, okay? And it wasn't even citizens, it was subjects, because there was nothing that treated to citizenship until 1956 here. which is what? How many years after 1666? 300. So the Sesta v. Trust just made it so that the status of everybody who agreed to be a part of that was the same. All persons had the same status. That's what Sesta QV said. And then the Federal Reserve turned around and said, okay, we'll use the capital letters in black ink in that Sesta QV Trust. And what we'll do is make it so that when we print this fiat, it's going to be in capital letters in black ink too. That means that we can enact being like the Moors. We can have our own money. We can be rich. We can be wealthy. We can buy and sell and trade and do all these things with all this money. And anybody who agreed and signed on the dotted line when they saw black ink and capital letters, anybody who did that, whether they knew about the Sesta QV or not, whether they looked at the greenbacks and saw that those were not real, no matter who it is, if they sign a contract, then they've agreed to be the all caps, the all capitalized name. They've agreed to be that person, and then the actors can put them in their play, in their theatrical script, and start acting.
It sounds as if it was premeditated.
It was. But Empress, you have to remember, they didn't think of anything original. We had to do it first. That's why we can't blame anybody else, because no one can make a move at all on this land ever without our permission. The conference is unlocked. So Jekyll Island was not an isolated event where some subjects went over there and decided they was just going to usurp. No, that's not how that works. No one could conquer us. We had to concur. No one can conquer us. We had to concur. So by capitalizing all words, the foreigners coming through Ellis Island gave the illusion of the right to contract bilaterally. Bilaterally meaning two parties plus a third unseen party. The third unseen party was the foreign Federal Reserve Corporation. That was the third unseen party in every contract, in all capital letters in black ink. See, before that, all contracts were unilateral, meaning between us and, Empress Chernette, if you and I agreed to do some sales, and let's say I was going to sell you some corn, and we agreed that I was going to pack the corn up and send it over to you, we could agree that I was going to do that, and then I would have the subjects to pack it up and bring it over to you. I didn't do it myself. The subjects did it. Those subjects who came to work would pack the corn up. They didn't have a say in where the corn went, when they packed it up, or anything. You and I agreed over their heads to do that. And then I would tell my subjects, okay, hey, pack this corn up and take it to Empress Chernette at Canaan Land, and then she's going to load your wagons with her grapes or whatever you have there. Okay? The subjects had no say in that. They said, hey, we're on your land. We came here to work because that gives us purpose. Let's just tell us what to do. So that was a unilateral contract. There was no counterparty. There was nobody in the contracting process that said, I don't want to be a part of this if full disclosure is given. Our subjects knew coming here, they had full disclosure about what was happening here. It's only when we forgot who we were that we started crying about we didn't have full disclosure. Well, Mother was supposed to do that. not subjects, mother. So matriarchs, happy Mother's Day. Yes, we were supposed to do that, which is what we're doing now. So the capitalized paper contracts made by the fake, fraudulent Federal Reserve Corporation gave the illusion of all men being equal, because it was the one enacting the making of the persons. So that Federal Reserve piece was capitalizing everything, and anybody who agreed to it, okay, you've agreed to be subject to that system. This enactment allowed the contracting process to have the illusion of equality and agreement between the contracting parties. So we thought, this is what we thought, Morris. We thought that if we signed a contract for a car, that was the only thing we were agreeing to. That's what we thought. But because it was an enacted system, if you signed for a car, you also agreed to be subject to their courts, quote unquote, because they're not real, they're fake. They were fake. So that's where some Moors get confused. They say, well, I didn't want to be a part of that. They're fake courts, but you signed a contract doing this, and you didn't do it properly, because there's a way to do all of this. There's a 3-day revocation process. There's a 1099 and all of that. There's a cancellation process. You're supposed to cancel those bills. And that's after you've put all of your documentation about you being the currency controller. That means you get to move money around. And you being the treasurer and you being the law enforcement, that means nobody can come and try and enforce law, because you're the law for you and the estate. So once you put your authority and your nationality on the public record and you cut off all of that fraud, then you can start moving money around and doing things. 1099 cancellation, 1099 original issue discount, whatever else, deductions that you claim, and then you use that money, you can cash that in or whatever, and using our own money system and all of that. So the Federal Reserve Corporation allowed the foreigners who came here to enact having a status that they really didn't have, because in all capital letters, they can put the word judge or loan officer, or they were allowed to do that in the previous era. Put whatever word, because it didn't mean that anyway. If it's in all capital letters, it only means corpse or corporation. It doesn't mean judge. It doesn't mean lawyer. It doesn't mean any of that. They want you to think it does, but it doesn't. It doesn't mean any of that. The definition is changed when the letters are all capitalized by whoever capitalized them, the letters. In the ancient Biblios, it says the letter killeth, but the spirit maketh alive. Okay? Let me tell you, they don't want you to know this. They don't want you to know it, but you know it. You know already. So Empress Charnette said in the chat, she said they essentially attempted to override our system of capitalism. Yes, if somebody brought you a contract and it looks a lot like the one you signed initially, except they got the name in black ink and capital letters, but it looks like it, but it's not it. But you don't know the difference because you're not watching your paperwork. You sleep. You don't realize that there's been a whole switcheroo and that they just capitalized. And so Islam, Empress.
So my question is about full disclosure. Mm-hmm. So in the prayer, there was not full disclosure. And at this time, as we govern, there is full disclosure. We properly state our identity and our venue, and so that is the court.
Yes. See, because we've put the stuff on the public record, we can now do the cancellation and revocation process according to our status. According to our status, we can do that. And that's what we agreed on today. And we've agreed on that, previously as well. But InfraSureNet, the thing is, it's already on right side up. The right side is up because we're here. It's already done. It doesn't have to be done. It's done already. Yeah.
Islam, gratitude.
Yes.
Islam,
Empress.
I have a quick question. So, what process do we have now for the subjects to remain on our land?
Let us focus on us and not on the subjects, if we could.
Okay.
Because they know what to do already. We're the ones that are making things happen and doing things, and it's going to be so important that we stay focused on our estate and our empire. They already know what to do. We don't have to worry about them.
So then essentially what you're saying is that the previous system that we set up, it still stands. Is that what I'm hearing?
The ancient system never left. It never left. It's always been here. The ancient system has always been here. There was an enactment of a doctrine of discovery. In other words, I found this. I found that. No, you didn't. It's been here. We put it here. So the system is ancient. Our system has always been here. All we had to do was take the time, stop contracting with the frauds, and take the time to do the work.
Islam,
no billing.
And I love how you were like, you were like a rapper just now, just flowing, outlining, giving us a very good introduction of what happened and a history of what happened. And, you were kind of interrupted and you went off into the Suggeste trust, even though it was a bit in line. But the thing is, so these people have created fraud under legislation, statutes and codes, and called a thing on the land called in rem jurisdiction, which refers to a legal action directed towards a thing or property rather than a specific person. It involves a court's authority over a property regardless of who owns it or contains or claims an interest in it. And it says the judgment in an in rem case is binding on all potential right holders, even those not named in the lawsuit. So the in rem thing that they have done is to, under the all caps, claim the land under the all caps. But our process that we're doing now should reverse that, because what you're doing is taking it out of the all caps and putting it back to the people. And that is a part of the powerful process that we're doing, because they have been everything that they do under legislation, statutes and codes rather than law, it's under fraud. The entire system is fraudulent. So we're simply correcting the errors that these people have been operating under, and with the audacity that they have also tried to grab us into their jurisdiction when they are the ones who are subject, trying to turn us into subjects, and under this capitalization and this citizenship status. So we are simply just reversing that process by changing our status, identifying as the living, etc., etc., etc.
Let me, yes, but let me add a little bit of clarity where the language is concerned. We're not really reversing anything. We're just stating the truth of the matter.
Correct.
That's it. This is not, we're not having to fight back so that the truth is known. No. No, we're just stating. It's like me stating that I'm a woman.
Yeah.
I don't have to argue with anybody about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just stated it for any incompetent who may not know it.
But technically, the affidavit, remember the affidavit is a statement of truth. So technically, all the affidavits we have done is simply stating the truth as it is in commerce or whatever.
Yes, and we must know our own systems. That's
Mm-hmm.
why that's why we take the time to specify. It's so that we show that we know our own systems. We're stating the obvious, to be honest with you. We're stating what everybody has already known about us. We're just saying, you know, that if I want to claim something that's in all capital letters in black ink, I can claim it if I want to claim it. But if I don't want to claim something, or if I want to not answer for a capital, I don't have to answer for one. I just don't. Period.
Islam Empress.
Islam Empress Nabi.
This is basically what the prophet was saying in simplicity, with taking the covers off of everything. And for those who have ears to hear and eyes to see, removing the scales off so that they can hear and see what the word is. Because this has always been our ancient system. They have just covered or put covers over it. So we're pulling the covers back and just revealing to you what has been true, like you said, all along.
What they did, they called it the Buck Act. Our great Sheikh Taj talks about the Buck Act all the time. The Buck Act is putting all caps in and trying to convince you that that's the same word as it was in Capitis Diminution Minima, with the first letter capitalizing. They're trying to convince us that that's the same word when it's not.
Like what I was saying, read and read and read and read.
Yeah, and you know something, they're so desperate these days that even this week I have some law firm debt collectors, so-called, they're leaving voicemail, text message, sending letters, calling me on the phone. And when they send the letter open with a court case, to make it look as if I'm the one who opened it, so I was served, and that's not how you serve. And also put in, listen to this, blue ink with my name properly written out in lower and upper cases.
They're trying to help you out, Justice Willie. They're trying to help you out and tell you don't answer for a capital, but you have to have eyes to see that.
Well, what I did was to just simply send it back, return to sender for a cause.
But you have to state all of that. You have to state it. And when I say state it, that means that means that the state is speaking. You're the state. So then this process that we just showed a little while ago, do that process. The parts that are applicable, because not all of that is applicable. But you must at least Fifth Amendment the thing. Fifth Amendment it. See, in the previous era, they used to plead the Fifth. That's what they used to do, plead it. Why?
Well,
because it was a privilege for them, not a right.
Well, but the thing is, for where I'm concerned, if you and I do not have a contract and you're operating fraudulently, I'm not obligated in the first place to have a conversation with you because you are not lawful in any way. So why should I even engage you? And so I don't want to engage them.
I'm gonna go ahead and put this here out there for you to answer in response to that question. If you're contracting with them in one area, but you don't want to contract in the other area, you're gonna have to shut it all down. First, And then you can go back and Fifth Amendment the thing. But you can't contract over here, but you don't want to contract over here. That's what we were saying earlier. The difference being, all the contracting has to stop. Then you put all of your stuff on your documentation on the public record, and then you go back and Fifth Amendment that stuff. The stuff that you don't want, you say Fifth Amendment. You can't tell me where to go and what to do. I don't have to show up anywhere because I'm not an all cap. And then if you want to claim a check or whatever, you can claim that. But as long as somebody ain't trying to get you to go nowhere.
But remember, I'm telling you, they're not using the all caps. They're using the proper written thing now because they're listening to us about the all caps. So they're using their brain now to say, okay, let's not use the all caps. Let's use the blue ink. Let's use the regular stuff. But that requires, again, a contract, because that's saying you're talking to the living, not the capitalization now. You're talking to me, the living. So the question is, do I really have a contract with you? I don't know who you are.
Justice Willie, you do know who they are. Yes, you do. You know who they are.
The fraudsters.
What part of that don't you know?
That's why I'm saying I'm not engaging anybody who is involved in a fraud. It's just like an extortionist. I don't have to engage in talks with an extortioner. Mind you, he's functioning unlawfully, so he may just decide to hurt me, right? Physically.
Wait a minute. You're the fraud if you don't cut off all those contracts first. There, I said it. You're the fraud.
I object, Your Honor. I object to being a fraud.
His car was still
is the light. The truth will set us all free. Because see, they can't do anything without our permission. They can't do it.
Exactly. And I ain't giving them no
hurt you. They can't hurt you. They can't kick the door in and take you. They can't without your permission. And you permit it when you sign, when you agree,
correct,
when you call them judges and justices and officers and courts. When you call them a court, you're saying that they're a court.
Mm-hmm.
That's permission for them to act like a court.
Mm-hmm.
That's when doors get kicked in and stuff, which we never do. That's why I say never, ever, ever will they ever have any title. I don't care if it's janitor. That better be a Moore. If I'm saying if I'm calling somebody a janitor, they better be of the bloodline and birthright. Period. Or else they're just subject. Period. And we're not mad at the subjects. We love our subjects, but they are subjects. According to the Circle 7, Holy Quran, Moorish Holy Temple for Science. And we do have a matriarchal version of that coming out.
Islam Empress.
Islam Empress Nabi.
I just had a thought about us as matriarchs being the church, the divine church and the divine temple, and bringing law back where it is supposed to sit.
Of course. We stand sovereign. It had to be the matriarchs because everybody else came from us. Whether they came from our womb or our laboratory, they came from us.
Islam.
We're the only ones who can put it back. And
I'm doing.
Our sons that's our cheering section. We love them. We all won.
You know, this morning a thought came to me, and I'm going to share it. Don't know how you feel about it. As a former minister of religion, pastor, who have the experience of the birth of babies, blessing them, dedicating them, baptizing the living, burying the dead, and the uniting of lives together in holy matrimony. I'm saying that I am going to be offering these services for the Moors. How do you think about that?
I think that as long as the wording is changed and properly corrected, then all is well.
Correct, correct.
We didn't do marriage, we did matrimony. Why?
Right,
because matrimony is about mother and the matriarch. You see what I'm saying? So the words are going to mean the difference between the spell that you cast on the relationship.
And you know, we use that term holy matrimony on our stuff. Yeah, holy matrimony. Mm-hmm.
The words are the key.
Yes. Agreed.
Even again, that's why I say you can't call them courts and judges and stuff like that. The words are the key. That's where in the beginning was the word was with us, and the word is us. Period. So when the language is corrected, and I'm talking about corrected in your spirit first, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So when we hear people constantly giving glory to actors, that's something coming from the abundance of your heart is saying they have some authority when we know they don't.
Well, you know, no, it's not necessarily that we're giving them, but remember, let me tell you something. Remember what we're dealing with here. You don't have a man in prison for 30 years in the dark, in the dungeon, and then take him and put that man out in the sunlight. He'll go blind. So we have to gradually warm up the eyes to the light, and gradually we can see. Because the point is that we have been conditioned a certain way of speaking, and we just have to gradually learn.
Can you just speak for yourself instead of saying we?
Okay, me. Okay, I have been, yes, and that is why even among us sometimes, I'm not talking about this forum, we have learned to say connotatively speaking rather than denotatively speaking to correct ourselves, because we are used to a particular vernacular of speaking, and so we're still in the process of undoing the damage that was done. That's all I'm saying, and I'm sure you'll agree with me.
No, I don't agree with you because see, when you say we are used to it, that means somebody is still using you. We're used to this, and we're used. That's not customary on our land. That ain't customary. That's not customs and usage is the term. That's a treaty term. So no, they didn't program us to a point where we can't unprogram ourselves. Come on now. We had to agree for them to do that.
Yeah, but since I don't say we, and I'm not talking about the forum. Oh, it's when I can trace back when I got awakened, and it's since COVID. All of these that we're learning is since COVID. I have been awakened, and many people are just waking up to what we were under. No, a lot of us didn't have a clue as to what was going on until COVID. So thank God for COVID. It has really created a monstrosity of awakening. Africa is awake. Everybody is coming awake. That's all I'm saying. Right? So before that, we were all very much going along and getting along just fine.
No, we were not. Nope. Most of us were unhappy. We were wondering, why is this not working? We were wondering, why do they keep picking on me? Why they keep throwing me in jail? Why do they keep pulling me over? I haven't done anything. I haven't killed anybody. I haven't hurt anybody. What are they doing? Why? We were not just getting along and going along and being happy. No one was happy. None of us were happy. We knew we were smart enough to be the wealthiest people on earth. How is it that dum-dums get to have all this wealth and we don't have any, but we're smarter than them? That's how we was feeling. I don't know about anybody else. And I know y'all feeling the same thing too, knowing that, wait a minute, we doing twice the work for half the money, quote unquote, because it wasn't real money. That's why.
Who was it that said, I save 1,000 and I could have saved 1,000 more if only they realized they were enslaved? Who was it that said that?
Harriet Tubman.
Okay.
Excuse me, Araminta Rosbay. Because that's her real name. Her real appellation. So, no, we don't give any more credit. We're not giving them any credit. Nope. Our language is proper. Nope, no, we're not trying to clean up damage. We're God. Nope. They don't still own nothing. They don't have no courts. No. And the more we say it, the more it will get ingrained in our spirit. Because see, in reality, this land is still ancient. And that's another something. I'm so glad that you all have brought forth the things that you brought forth. And just know that we're still on topic. We're still on topic because we're talking about the fraud, but we're really talking about our freedom from the fraud. Every day, until you get it into your mind and into your spirit, every day, if you would, and this is just a suggestion because we can't tell sovereigns what to do, go outside, take off your shoes, stand on the land and say, I am on ancient land. This is my land right here, right now. Not tomorrow after you do your paperwork, not next month after you do a demonstration. No, every day. At least once a day, every day for the next 30 days. Go out, take off your shoes and say, I am now on ancient land. Every day. I am now on ancient land. This land has been here since time immemorial, and so have we. So now, the Islam Empress.
Well, I would just add into that I am ancient land.
Yes. This is not tomorrow and some other day. This is now. Last week you were on ancient land.
When we were sleeping, before we were born, we were on ancient land because we are the ancient land. We are the land. And that's the piece. That's the piece. The thing about all of this also is, so we didn't know at one point, but now we know. When we know better, we do better.
Yes.
The whole piece of, ignorance of the law is no excuse. That is valid all the time.
There it is. That's it.
And this is why we are eruditing ourselves so that we know the processes, so that we are always in order, in honor.
And not being fraud.
And not being fraud, and we can never be ignorant. Because the first part of that also is to know who you are. I know who I am. The land, the law, everything, God. And once you're there, you can't even make the mistake of giving anyone else authority.
It's actually against the law for us to call any fakes judges and courts and things. The law is broken every time that comes out of our mouth.
Exactly. And so
people think that that's casual, and they think that it's okay to do that. It ain't. Stop doing it.
Because when we break the law, there are repercussions. And at the end of the day, if we do not operate, action, demonstrate, present within the law and as the law, we're out of order.
Out of order, ignorant, incompetent, all of that.
We are fruit of a poison tree.
You threw us on under the bus, Empress. But I'm just saying, we have to reinvoke quickly when we do stupid stuff like that.
Exactly. So that there it is. At the end of the day, there is no higher authority. So if my actions and demonstrations and presentment create, who am I creating?
Yes.
Or trying to recreate, because I am as I stand, as I am, as I breathe. So it's all ultimately our word, again, begins and ends and continuum, circles and cycles around with the word. So I must be clear.
Yes.
At my word and of my word and for my word. And that's really...
And stop incriminating and breaking the law.
And that's it. That's it. And there are no excuses. We cannot make excuses for our attempts or choices to straddle the fence. Something gonna get hurt. Okay?
We have authority over what comes out of our mouth.
That's it.
That's not some pale person's deal. That's us.
It's us. And we cannot go back. We don't go back. We go forward. But we are not revisiting. We are not allowing that enactment to continue, and it can only continue by our word. And not Nagasa. So we have to stand and we have to be accountable and responsible for our own actions, demonstrations, presentments, our word, our sound. How are you sounding?
Listen, only children don't control what come out of their mouth.
Exactly.
Only children, only kids.
Minors and kids, that's not even, that's a goat.
And idiots and dum-dums, okay?
That's it.
No, you can't blame it on programming either. You can't blame it on programming.
Because once you know,
there it is.
You must step different. You must stand different.
And no one even accepts the excuse of, oh, we were programmed to be that way. No.
No, it's because it is an excuse. Okay, we didn't know, now we know. Now we know. Do better.
And then we have to keep each other in check on that stuff, because that's what happened before. We stopped talking to each other and stopped passing the information.
And right.
Of course we do it in love, of course we do it in love, but how many times a day do I have to tell you they're not courts and judges and stuff? How many times a day?
That's it, you're hard of hearing, as my papa would say. And that's a choice.
That's a choice.
A choice. I know that when I make a choice, I'm creating order out of chaos. If you look at the word choose, choice, and vowels being transitory and all of those other things, my choice is me making order, creating an order out of the chaos. Because sometimes there are many choices, but there's only one choice when it's about truth. When it's about truth, there's one choice. So I yield.
Islam. In all of this, there was an unseen party, an unseen party.
Yes.
We were the unseen high contracting parties because we had on the disguise of all capital letters in the enactment because we thought that's who we were.
Yes.
In the acting financial world, and this right here should be in black ink, so let's go ahead and put that the way it's supposed to be. We were called the central clearing member for every contract that was ever enacted. Every contract had to have one of us be the central clearing member. Not one contract ever took place in the enactment that didn't have one of us somewhere in there. We were viewed as honoring contracts by signing without designing or creating the contracts, and that's not honor, that's dishonor. But see, when you watch the video that we put in the chat, the subject in the video, he just so casually talks about the central clearing member failing because they stopped honoring the contracts. That means we stopped signing stuff. But the way he talks about it, he's talking about it as if we're in dishonor for saying we're not going to be your all caps. See, we were viewed as being honorable by being slaves, Slavs, or acting like that. and signing those things incompetently. So we were the enacted counterparty to each and every contract. We just did not know that until now. Now, let me just say this. A counterparty, if the word counter is being used, you have to look and see what that means. Okay? A counterparty is one that is a party to a contract without full disclosure. And if there's no full disclosure, that means that whoever it is that's supposed to be the counterparty is incompetent, they're a minor, or they're absent, or all of the above, or all of those things. Any contract having a counterparty is a bottomry instrument from the beginning. It's war from the beginning. Any contract having a counterparty. So whenever you hear people talk about, even when they talk about Bitcoin, they say Bitcoin has no counterparty. Oh, yes, it does. That's a war instrument. It did have counterparties until we put that stuff in its rightful place. So the delusionary system failed. Now, what, and this is a quick question. COVID backwards is the word devoke. Devoke. What is the root word of the word invoke? What's the root word of the word invoke?
Yeah, Islam. Would it be voce, as in voice, as in?
Yes, it is.
Oh, there you go.
Of course, Empress Dictionary. Of course. It is voke, vocal, speak, voke. That's what that was all about, is who's going to be speaking by the time all this is over. It was about the mouth. That's why there was a mask involved. And that's why the word backwards is devoke. That means don't speak.
Remove the voice. Take the sound. Yep.
But because it's in all capital letters in black ink, they weren't talking to us. They were talking to themselves.
Islam. You know, if I may, I'll take a minute. But the COVID. Yes. So I was thinking about many things. But anyway, what came up to me? So COVID really didn't exist. You know, all of it was an enactment. It was about currency. Yes. Always. In addition, so banking, finance, that currency, but it was also about electricity.
It was about traffic, movement, transportation, portation, reporting, all of that.
All of that.
The word,
again. And COVID, whenever there's a change in the frequency, electrical frequency, there are, because we are electrical beings, there are going to be disturbances within the body, and the body's going to go, the immune system is going to kick in to balance everything out. So with those frequencies that we were unaware of, so there were reactions the body went into, but because the message, the word had been put out there that this thing was here and it was killing, and people took it in, believed it. When the body itself, the natural body, did its natural thing with its immune system and created disturbance as it recalibrated and got the wave back in order, they came in the enactment with a treatment.
Ooh.
People got scared, went for the treatment, which then, because there was nothing wrong with the living at all, the treatment in the enactment then brought something that was more material, more solid than it was originally with the sound. I mean, hopefully I haven't gone, but that just came to me yesterday. It was so bright and bold, and it was all I mean, every single piece of it was an enactment, even as certain things did materialize. It was all an enactment, and we had to consent.
Yes.
We had to consent to believe it first. Some of us
and we did not.
Neither did I. No, from the get-go. And from those actors started showing themselves doing sorts of things, it was clear. But that was the beginning, but the consent had to be, you had to get out of balance to either believe or step back and say, nah. You know, so ultimately, again, it still comes back to consenting and where we are in the midst of all the enactments and the soup and the sounds and frequencies. But I yield now. I yield.
Islam. The moment we stopped agreeing to be chattel and surety and insurance and Slavs and slaves and property and animals in the enactment, the moment we stopped that, that whole thing had to go. It had to fall. And the thing that was previously doing business as a Federal Reserve Corporation enacted being the clearing party by clearing the contracts and brokering the fraudulent treasury. So what does that mean? What does that look like? It looks like this. Every time one of us signed a contract, in that enactment, resources would be taken and handed out to those with capital letters who agreed to capital letters, but only the ones that system favored, okay? Which had to be somebody who didn't naturally have a status, because that's really what that was about. It was about status. And that's why with the all caps, they keep trying to get you to think that if you get this new conveyance or you get this new house, you get this new car, that you will have a status symbol. The stuff already belongs to us because we're the only ones with the status, but we have to know not to keep signing and not to keep looking at the fiat piece for the stuff, because that's not where it's coming from. It came from every time we signed something, but it wasn't on the public record who we really were. So every time we signed something, they move things and say, here, y'all, the Moors have agreed to be all caps. So here's some more stuff. Buy a bigger house, Bill Gates, or make it look like you're buying a bigger house. Insurance company, mortgage company, go get some more stuff, because the Moors keep signing. Take from them and you bet not give them a loan of any surmisable amount. Keep most of them in the ghetto, so that they'll keep signing to try and get a car, so that they look ghetto rich. And then take those fraudulent debt note resources and hand them all over to the rest of the foreigners that don't have a status. As long as the Moors agree to be the bottomry part of the instrument, then y'all can be the top of the instrument. Even though they're the Moors are the ones clearing those contracts because of signing. We'll just call them all dead or debtors or absent or minors or incompetent. We'll just call them stupid. And they'll agree by keep signing. And then we'll get them to call us the bank and call us the judge and the court and all of that. We'll get them to do that. The Federal Reserve Corporation enacted being the clearing party. See, that's where that DTCC, and you all are familiar with the DTCC, the Depository Trust Corporation Company, whatever, clearing the contracts that printed the debt notes. Because, see, the Federal Reserve Corporation was not supposed to have a printer back there. That was a treasury operation that was supposed to be going on. Every time we signed, more debt and death by capitalization was enacted by clearing the debt. We were the ones who were clearing that stuff in the enactment, because we were considered the central clearing member or the central clearing party or the central bank, if you will. But without that, there would be no debt system, and none of that. And no death. So to clear the contracts through our own accounts and then cancel them within that 3-day period, 3 days, Savior, that you're in the tomb, 3 days, and then you come out and you live forever and all of that, and you saved the whole world, that's 3 days. Islam nobility.
About getting a pension. What's the application to use to verify who, our status and who we are? What's the application for that?
In terms of, you said pension?
Yeah.
You'll just do the.
Okay, I'm with you. Okay, I'm with you.
You just do this.
Okay.
The reason they call it a pension is because it's written with a pen. It's put into enactment with a pen. That's why it's called a pension and compensation, because there's a pen right in the middle of that activity. So you're going to have to claim it by Fifth Amendment taking. That's how you do it. Claim it by Fifth Amendment taking. The same way we claim the Treasury check, because we know it started with us. That's how you do it. And then you just keep on moving. The strategy was to get as many Moors to be the ignorant counterparty to as many contracts as possible by showing them a bunch of rap videos and HGTV big houses as status symbols. Get the Moors to feel as if they have to chase the status symbol instead of accepting the offers on their own vast estate at their will and enjoying their true status. That was the point. That was the strategy from the previous era. Is have you look at things and call it a status symbol instead of looking at yourself and saying, I'm the status, first and foremost. There's a huge difference between capitulating.
Bullshit.
He keeps saying his name. He keeps saying his name.
You love poverty.
He keeps saying his name. So, chasing a status symbol instead of
You're such a fucking bragger.
Instead of demonstrating the status. See, those symbols became symbols of status because status looks like wealth. But you have to have the status in order for it to be true wealth. So that was the strategy from the previous era. Try to get the Moors to chasing status symbols instead of chasing their status. How did the Capitalized Federal Reserve Corporation, Inc. enact this? By having actors offer black contracts to us, the Moors. Black contracts is something that at the end of the day they're trying to call you black, and you agree with them in black ink and capital letters. Trying to get us to sign some things that we thought we had to sign in order to get it. You don't have to sign a black contract to get anything. The only way to do that is to know the 3-day revocation process. But you got to have everything on the record first. You got to have your status on the record first. That means you've done due process. Because, see, you can't be revoking things if you haven't done due process. You actually have to give the subjects in the office of notice, due process. Putting our status on the public record is due process. It's not serving them, because, see, there's been a thing about, us saying that we're serving them. I went to, and I'll just give you an example. I went this past week to do due process, to issue due process. Issuing due process is simply delivering a court action to somewhere, to some subjects in the office of. That's due process. And the first thing that the subject in the office of receptionist asked, she said, "Are we being served?" I said no, because that was a war question. Are you warring? Are you here to war? It's kind of like in the Biblios when they say, "Christ, are you here to torment us early?" No, you're not being served. This is due process. In other words, this is what you're supposed to be getting. We're not giving you anything you're not supposed to get. We're not serving you. We don't serve you. We never have served you. This is due process. It's due process. And the energy in the whole room changed that very moment. Are we being served? Because they're accustomed to being served.
VA disability checks? Nope.
They're accustomed to being served. You better speak fast. You better talk quickly, because I will boot your behind out of here. Fictitious fiction. But yes, we were not serving. We were not serving. All we were doing is due process. This is how the law works. So by having actors offer black contracts to us, the Moors, that we thought we had to sign, and then once we capitulated in the enactment, let me just make sure I put this, enacted capitulation, the other side of the Federal Reserve Corporation unleashed and loosed a whole bunch of debt pretending to be credit. Not to us, though, because we on the other side. We were on the other side in the enactment. They would release a whole bunch of debt pretending to be credit with the other arm to those who had no status. Those who had no status contracted in capitis diminutio minima. In other words, they wouldn't use, I've looked at the records, and not the records, because those are not real records. I've looked at the paperwork. And I see where their stuff wasn't in all capital letters.
Your husband still pays your bill.
Theirs wasn't in all capital letters. So I'm like, oh, they knew all along then. So regardless of whether we thought, and this is hear me when I say this, threat, duress, and coercion, there's no such thing. Just stop being there, all caps, period. Because, see, the truth be told, no one has ever threatened a Moor. No one has ever done that. The only threat that may have been perceived as being a threat was aimed not at you, but at the Negro, Black, Colored, and African American, and all of that, all of those brands, because that's not who we are. With each contract that we concurred to in the enactment, millions in black capitalized derivatives were loosed to those with no status. They had no status. And here we go, bonding out of jail, quote unquote. And they're like, whoo, we got another one. Here's another $1.5 million. Fake judge, go buy your girlfriend a trip to wherever. Fortunately, that enactment is finished, and for this we are grateful. That's no more. That is what we rebutted when we said capitalism is suspended. And I'm telling you right now, ever since we did that, I've seen so many miracles. And we call it a miracle, but that's the way things were supposed to be in the first place. They're not judges, they're not courts, they're none of that. And you need not break the law because our ancestors said stop it. So yes, you actually have to think before you speak. And this is not to anyone in particular, but you do have, all of us, we all have to think before we speak. So we won't do that. So we won't keep breaking the law against our foremothers and forefathers. That is all we have for this great and amazing Congress. Are there any questions, comments, wisdom from anyone? Any questions, comments, wisdom?
Yeah, I got one.
Islam.
I have one comment.
Islam.
In the Articles of Incorporation, they even state that they are actors, as well as the Articles of Incorporation of the IRS. They also state that they are the actors.
And they can't state it, but they say it, and we do not. Listen. All of that stuff is done. It's finished. It's finished. There's no more of that. It's no more of it the minute we say that there's no more of it. And let me say this. If you keep, you being anyone, if anyone keeps agreeing that that's still active, then you're not going to see what I see. You're going to see a bunch of actors that you keep calling officers in courts, and you're going to be like, I don't know why Light said they ain't doing nothing. There they go trying to arrest me. That's what you're going to see, because by your word. We see the miracles every day. We see our ancestors saying, we're the bank every day. Every day.
We're the bank, we're the land.
Yes. Take off your shoes on this holy ground. Go outside and proclaim where you really are, so that it will be just absorbed into your spirit, because it's really coming from your spirit. Empress Nafi.
Islam Empress. I don't know if we went over this, but there is a definition of more that says it is land and a bank as well. So I don't know if we've been over that definition that expressed.
We have, but Empress, I'm so glad you said something. Let's go ahead and really quickly look at that. It's going to say it here. Mooring, a place where a boat or ship is moored. The ropes, chains, or anchors by which a boat, ship, or buoy is moored. That means that it has to be on something solid. It has to be connected to something solid. Moor is solid land. They're putting it here as a place where or an object to which something such as a craft can be moored. And really, when you're giving the definition, you don't use the same word in the definition. An act of making fast a boat or aircraft with lines or anchors. Lines being sentences and words in a paragraph. That's what a line is. That means ships and things are not going to be floating all over the place, haphazardly out there lost at sea, when you declare that you're the moor for that thing, that property.
Islam. And if you look at the word anchor,
yes. Yes.
And then you have or. You know, you've got gold and the life. And also, if you go to Anglerland, you've got the Yorkshire moors and various other moors, which is bodies of land.
Yes.
Earth.
Yes.
Islam even going in a little deeper as far as us as vessels, which the mind or the soul was placed into.
Yes.
You know, that's the ship, you know. being into the earth, you know. We are the earth as well. So it just brings me all the way back to everything that the prophet said, or in the beginning, you know, there was darkness, and then the form, you know. So it's all of that kind of full circle, us as our vessels, the mind put into the vessel, the soul, you know, the flesh, the garb, everything. So Islam.
The process of securing. Talk about secured party creditor and all of that stuff. Making safe a boat or vessel in a fixed position. That means standing on your square. A fixed position. And what are you using? Anchors, ropes, chains, or other devices. A word is a device.
Manifested in the flesh.
Look at this one, Wikipedia. A mooring is any permanent structure to which a seaborne vessel may be secured. A permanent structure is land. That's what a permanent structure is, land.
Islam.
Islam, Empress.
So you just flew past one. It says a place where a boat can be tied so that it can never move away. That's
there it is.
us. We've never moved away. Never. The earth has gone nowhere. We have not gone anywhere. I mean,
we're home.
We're home. We are home. Yeah.
Security is found there in our nationality. Security. A mooring is kind of like a parking lot for boats. Anchoring or making fast to the shore or dock. The securing or confining a vessel in a particular station, as by cables and anchors, or by a line or chain. And here's the word birth. Islam, Empress.
I was just going to add the unit of measurement for land was chain here.
Yes. Yes. And the unit of measurement for words is lines and letters.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
And you're still talking about birth when you're talking about moors and mooring. It's about birth and docs and documents. And peers and our peers that judge with us.
Judge with peers is also Peter, which is also rock, which is also earth, which is land.
Yes. It's all about the moors and the land. We are the land. We secure everything because guess what? Again, United States Travel and Transportation Ministry. It's about the vessels moving. It's about the vessels moving. And it's about us securing all movement. All movement. All movement.
That's the important piece, the security, that surety, and that's what nationality does. That first step. Yes.
How far back does the word more goes?
Into perpetuity.
Remember, it's more. Isn't it the ancient? It's for Moabite, Morocco.
Yes.
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 Way. With the earth, if it's the land, then the land. How long has have we been here?
Right. That part. And not only that, when you ask a question like how far back does that word go, what you do is you look up this word right here. Hold on, let's take a look at this word really quickly.
Islam, Empress.
Islam.
What I'm also seeing with it is that the word mooring that is used to describe a anchoring, it wasn't originated from the anchoring. Instead, I'm seeing it the next way around, that the anchoring was used to describe from the mooring instead.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, over time, the definitions have been changed up and things, but let me just say this. Anytime anything is spoken or written by the ancient people, it's ancient. At our word, we're the ones who decide whether something is ancient or not. We'll go ahead and prove that again really quickly. Here. And let's look. Oh, anchor is right there. A measure containing 10 gallons. I didn't know that's what that meant. But let's look at. But this is the word we will to look at. Ancient writings. If we write it and call it ancient, it's ancient. Documents bearing on their face every evidence of age and authenticity of age of 30 years and coming from a natural and reasonable official custody. And again, this is why we don't give them titles, because they're not official. We are. These are presumed to be genuine without express proof when coming from the proper custody. In other words, when it comes from us, it's automatically ancient. They must come from the proper source, accompanied by some corroborating evidence, which is our bloodline and birthright. And then it says only, and this is really important, right here, only the original copy of a deed, not the record copy, can be considered as an ancient document. We produce originals every single day, every time. Every time you turn around, we're creating original documents everywhere.
So we're the only ones that can really prove chain of custody.
Ding, 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 ding. There it is, Empress. We're the only ones who can say that the land is ancient because we were here. Nobody else can say the land is anything other than what we say it is because we were the only ones here. Nobody can call this place Wa, a two-letter state. Nobody can do that when we've been here the whole time and we said it's Washington. Not state of. We just called it Washington. So nobody else can change that because they weren't here. That means they can't even change who you are. They can't even change your name. The name that you own, they can't change that.
I am who I say I am.
And my persons are who I say they are. That means subjects included. So the acting is finished. No more acting. Subject status. Period. And because we watch our mouths and we don't give them titles, they've been doing what subjects are supposed to do here. I'm telling you, earth-wide, they're doing what subjects are supposed to do for those who watch their mouths. Watch your words. See, a word is a thought first. Get your mind right. so those words won't be coming out of your mouth, titles and things against the Constitution, against the law, and against your mother. Don't speak against your mother, the one who brought you into this dimension. Don't do that. Don't dishonor her by calling somebody a court or a judge or a justice when they are not even from here originally. We will never dishonor mother that way, particularly on this Mother's Day, this Matriarch's Day. Today is the day we do it every day, to celebrate the Stargates. I'll let you think about that. These Stargates, wow. Putting crowns on heads from the very beginning.
Islam indeed.
Come on now. With that being stated, that is all we have for the platform this week, or not this week, but today for this platform at this time. If there be nothing further from this amazing Congress at this moment for this platform, we will adjourn until this coming Sunday. Remember our process, and let's go ahead and any bills that you have, just start doing the process, do the process, and let's remind you of the process once more really quickly before we let that be. Let the Travel and Transportation Ministry really work for us by us doing the processes. Put it on United States Travel and Transportation Ministry letterhead and send it out and stamp those things. Cancel, put some holes in them, because again, those were ships trying to come ashore when they're not supposed to be ashore. Okay. This is the process, and however your spirit says to do it, my spirit is saying just get that stuff stamped, put holes in it, get it out with affidavit, the fiduciary document. That's what we do. We always include the fiduciary document, that court action in our paperwork, and we keep it moving. Islam Empress.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Okay, so I know the normal route that they send these bills is via the U.S. mail, or the United States mail system, if I'm saying it properly. What about those that send it electronically now, which is via email? And I'm not exactly sure if some of that is actually printable.
None of it is. Let me assist you with that one. None of it is valid. What if they get the wrong email address? Then what? What if you don't look at email no more? What if there's a power outage?
So when
for them, not us.
So if we don't look at email anymore, then essentially it does not even exist.
That's what we've been saying about even listening to all of that stuff that was coming from the funny mirror. If you stop listening to it, it'll stop being real for you. It was an enactment in the first place. If you don't see the war rant enactment, then what?
So then I'm still looking at the process, though, the process. So I'm kind of like...
Empress, let me assist you with that. When you said that they send it through the U.S.mail, did you know that that's a capitalized fraud too?
I didn't realize that. No.
Wire fraud. Did you know it's called wire fraud and that they're guilty of wire fraud? Did you know it? But if a court doesn't say that, then they'll keep doing it.
Oh my.
It's wire fraud, because those are accounts with the United States Post Office, but not no U.S. in all capital letters in black ink. No. That's why they don't even put stamps on their stuff anymore. No real stamps on it. That's fraud. They just got some words in all capital letters in black ink talking about some this is postage paid, whatever. What does it say? Oh, pre-sorted first class U.S. postage paid, permit number, blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's fraud. It's fraud. But see, we have to know that, and then we have to state it, and that's why we don't answer to a capital. And then we claim anything we will to claim that's in letters, that has letters attached to it, because we're the only ones who can read them.
You know, as you're speaking, and I'm just thinking, this process, the process that has been set up, and it's almost like it's just simple because this is all you're doing.
That's it. This is the remedy for everything. Once you get all your status and everything on the public record, that's the remedy for everything. It doesn't matter what it is.
Exactly. And like you said, get your status out on public record. And as I stated before, you know, just as you try to get your business started, and so you get cards made, business cards. So you get business cards made, you get website made and all of that, and then you start just putting your name out there. So once you start putting your name, your business name out there and all of that, and people start recognizing it, then you see this influx of other things coming in because of that. It's kind of like it's the same thing. Make sure everything is on public record so they will see this and they will know that, you know, by the time you get through sending this, I don't know how many times, then they go, oh, snap.
If you send it one time and you've done what you're supposed to do in terms of not doing business with fiat and all of that stuff, once you do that, everything else will line up. I would say a living witness, but more than just a witness. Everything will line up. Everything will line up.
I see that. It's happening. It's fine.
That's what makes this so effective. Is that the other areas of my life, I've done all my demonstrations. I've demonstrated and demonstrated and demonstrated, and now the doors are open. And I'll tell you, some of that time I was like, ancestors, y'all gonna have to come on, because I'm not doing anything else until y'all come on now. And they would always do it because they knew I meant business, just like they mean business. Our ancestors meant for us to honor them. Honor them. When we honor our ancestors from within, because they're not out there, they in here. They will kick those doors in, and they don't play about us. And when we send something saying canceled, it's canceled. And I don't even go back behind and try and check on the ancestors and see, did the system say it's canceled? We said it was canceled, so it's canceled. Period. And the system will honor what the system honors. Our systems honor what we do. Someone put something in the chat about Basel III. What they're saying about Basel III in that enactment, Empress, why not? Empress, why not? By the way, Empress, why not? I was still waiting to get a passport style photo from you and the information to put on your card. I've been waiting on that. I still haven't gotten it.
I will try and send that in.
Thank you, Empress.
Okay.
What you put there with that whole Basel III thing and all of that, all they're doing is saying that the Moors said gold and silver even at the banks, banking systems rather, because we're the bank. By July 1st, we stated that earlier in this Congress. July 1st is the date where, you know, banks have the gold, the banking system will have the gold and silver,
Islam.
and all of that. Islam, nobility.
Is that a private thing between yourself and Wyland, or is something for everyone about a card?
Oh yeah, she sent a gold coin for the driver license piece. And so I've been waiting to get her photo and the information that she wills to have on there.
So how come you didn't tell me about that and give me that option? That's not good.
I actually did.
You're racist. Come on, you're racist again.
You will not take that.
You're a racist. Oh my gosh.
There is a video, a 2-minute video with your name under it, Justice Willie. I'm putting your name there, your appellation there already about that driver license.
I quit because you're racist against Willie, man.
We put the video out there, Justice Willie, for everyone. So,
please put it into the chat. Let me go check that one out because I've been trying to get one from RV Bay, and they're just too much back and forth.
Well, what is it that you seek? Is it a nationality card or is it a driver license?
I wanted both. So I can cancel the one that I use right now because I just had to renew recently. And I can't go driving private until I do my process, which is what I'm working on.
Okay, let me pull that up. I'm trying to use this search mechanism here. Oh, there it is. It'll pull.
Could I just copy the URL and put it in the chat? I'll just click on it there to take me there.
Yep. Here it is right here. Let's see. Let's put that in the chat. And it's about a 2 or 3 minute video or something that we did where we were stating that anyone who wills to have a actual real driver's license can have one by doing the things that we stated here in the video.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so so if you will to have a driver's license, and that's for anyone. I will say this too about that. We will that as many of you who can prepare to issue driver licenses from where you are. And the best way to prepare to do that is to create your own driver license from the beginning, because people are going to be coming to you for them very shortly. This is how we continue expanding the empire and growing and
Now, is there anything else I'm missing out on?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Are you still using the same machine?
Yes.
What's the name of it again?
It's IDville. It's an IDville card making machine. IDville. Oops. That's how you spell it right there. IDville ID card machine. And they have different types, different kinds. See, we were supposed to be using whatever resources we have, we were supposed to be using those to free ourselves. That's what this was all about. Instead of, trying to go to the ball game and get the hair and nails done and all that, we were supposed to be freeing ourselves with resources. That's what we were really supposed to be doing. And now we're doing that. We've done it. So as many more as possible who can get machines, let your driver license be the first one you issue, and you'll know that everyone else's will be correct. Prepare to govern. Prepare to be wealthy. Wealth doesn't just happen. It's planned for. Islam Justice Council.
What do we put the driving license? Do we put it on PVC cards?
Yes, that's what I used. It's just a white PVC card. And I think the machines come with a certain number of those. They come with like 100 PVC cards or something like that. Islam Empress.
Okay. And now I have a question in regards to the video. It states that the 50 states.
Yeah.
Now it says 50 states, so I'm wondering over here in Canaan land, how?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm just wondering if it would be,
Empress, think about it. Who's governing driver licenses and movement there?
Mm-hmm.
Who's doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Certainly not any foreigners. Certainly not any foreigners. It's you. It's you.
Right. Okay. I was just wondering. Thank you.
And we're talking about 50 states that actually exist.
Mm-hmm.
And not
the
imaginary fictitious.
The big invisible eye.
The big old non-existent nothing.
Mm-hmm.
We've been using ours for years now, and for that we're grateful. And the ancestors are giving us all the grace and the time that is necessary for us to continue to be ourselves on our own land. Period. They know we're going to do that. We're not even thinking twice. Anything that comes our way, we just think, okay, how can I be myself and get this done? Okay. Period. Okay. Islam.
I just wanted to share something else and ask a question.
Mm-hmm.
So just a few days ago, I was approached via the messaging app by I would say a prominent YouTube content creator, and they mentioned the I got to pull it up now. Oops, got it. It's something similar to what's happening, I think, July 1st. They mentioned the quantum financial system.
Yes, our financial system.
Oh, that is ours.
Yes, it's gold backed. That's what we said, and
that's what I thought.
Yes.
So as she was speaking about it, I was like, that sounds like ours.
Yes. See, it can only be quantum if there is an undefined, and I can't say undefined because we know how much our estate has. But anytime you're dealing with natural resources, natural resources are an unlimited resource. That's the only way that quantum comes about. You can't. That's why they didn't call in a previous era. They didn't call that a quantum system because it wasn't. It ends when we say it ends, and it's finished. And then July 1st, our stuff is already valid, and everything is already done. It's just that we had to do the due process and prepare everyone else. And so July 1st is when our banking system announces to everyone what we have announced to our system already.
Well, this Sleepy Moore, I call her Sleepy Moore.
Mm-hmm.
She tried very, very hard to convince me of, obviously she's a representative or something, because she was trying really, really hard to find out, okay, if I have, 401ks, any IRAs or anything like that, where she could assist in getting them converted, and she would actually do the process and I can only assume because she didn't exactly answer my question, but I think it's through some type of application or something. Somehow she's doing this, and I'm not exactly sure how she's doing. But I just figured she was a representative because of how she was adamantly trying to convince me that I need to do this quickly. And I said, well, have you heard about more sovereign delarium? And she hadn't. So, and I don't think even at that point she attempted to even look it up. But
she might know already and just be saying that she hadn't heard about it.
Say that again?
She might know about it already and just might be saying she hadn't heard about it.
Oh, okay. Well,
because see, for some people they can hear it, and if they don't believe it, they haven't heard it. But it's not about feelings and beliefs. It's about the law.
Right. I think that's what it was. That's really what she was saying.
Well, they're looking at the gold piece.
Right. Right.
But you actually have to have a receipt for that. And more solarium is a receipt. Or else where did you get gold from? If you don't have a receipt for it, where do you get it from? Is it real?
Well, when she described everything, I was like, well, I'm good. Because that's what I got.
Well, we will that everyone be in alignment with the law. So whatever she has and whatever she's doing, she may just have to add nationality to it in order for it to be valid. And that's the case with everybody, is they have to be themselves no matter what process they use. We're okay with all those many different processes, because one way or the other they got to be in alignment with the law, period. So we're not mad at the processes. Their status has to be correct, though. They have to be who they really are. And doing things in all capital letters in black ink, you have to convert it anyway. Because see, gold and silver is a sovereign measure that the sovereigns govern. Others can use it, just like we in the previous era we used fiat. We just didn't govern none of that stuff. None of us governed it. We just used it and signed for it, and we cleared it. So, I hope she has the right process for her, but we know nationality has to be put with whatever it is. And if there's a timeline to what she's doing, then that's probably a corporate process. It's probably a corporate process. If there's a timeline, if you have to hurry up and have it done before this time or that time or whatever, then it's probably a corporate process, because corporations deal on timelines because they only had a specific amount of time to even do things. Yeah. If they think that there's some hurry, is that going to leave everybody else out that didn't do that process, or does everybody have to get in alignment with the law? See,
that would be different. Everybody has to get in line.
It's the law. It's the law. This is not an option. It's not optional. And the reason it's happening now is because of what we did. That's why it didn't happen 10 years ago, or 5 years ago, or 20 years ago for them. Not us. This has always been the law for us. So, everyone must be in alignment with the law. So, hey, get it cracking out there, whatever y'all doing out there. Just put nationality and status is first and foremost. That's the order for the day. And all abundance, resources, and all of that will come from those who are truly themselves. So we're excited, though, that everybody knows that a change has happened. See, we have to know that they know that because of the work we did. No one else could make that happen but us. That's why not 20 years ago, 35 or 8. Now,
point of interest?
Islam.
You know, it's funny that you say that because I can see the alignment with everything that is happening. First, with the Pope Francis when he was over there kissing the feet of the Moors.
The Pope.
Yes, exactly. Kissing the feet of the Moors. And then now with the alignment of what's happening with their new subjects, aka so-called Pope, being of Moorish descent. So you can see the alignment that's happening and the changes that are coming, and it's quite obvious that it's changing.
Very, very clear.
Mm-hmm.
See, the previous actor that was acting as Pope was from Argentina, which is where a lot of the capitalism originated, where treaties and things, where the Organization for American States were met. They met at Argentina in the enactment to allow capitalism to go everywhere. The Organization for American States, the corporate one, quote unquote, met there at Argentina, but it had to be on American soil. And Argentina is South America. So, now they're saying North America. And that's what the actor previously acting as Leo, pretending to be a pope from America. Yeah. All they're doing is saying they're ready. Everyone, get ready because the Moors are ready.
Islam?
Yeah. Islam Empress.
Shall we bring up the statue of Big Mama in Times Square?
Someone brought that up. I haven't seen it, but I don't know what it looks like.
I love it.
Really?
I don't care what it looks like. I love it.
Just a moment. Let's see if we can find it.
It's easy to find.
A new statue in Times Square is told is, we're told, turning heads. It's making people not only stop and stare, but
we don't really will to hear from that. Oh, it is Big Mama. Whoa. Okay. Well, there it is. There she is. Listen, they're not even hiding.
I think she's gorgeous.
She's beautiful. Listen, they're not even hiding that it's about us, because it is. And let me tell you that way more territories, every territory must have a matriarch statue at least 12 feet tall at the center of the territory. Every one.
With either turbans or feathers.
Huh? Islam Empress?
I said with a turban or feathers.
As long as it's an empress, and the turban is preferred from our perspective.
Islam.
With that being stated, there she is. Very beautiful. Listen, everything gets in alignment when we're in alignment. We've stated that already. All we have to do, again, is keep doing what we're doing. That's it. Just keep being ourselves. Every time we elevate and continue rising, more manifestation. Wait till you see what this land is going to look like in 1 year. There's going to be so many statues of us, it's going to look like Russia over here. Because, you know, at Russia, they got Moors everywhere. They have one statue over there at Russia, or it was probably more than one, but one that I saw that was bigger than the Empire State Building. A statue of a Moor. At Istanbul, at Afghanistan, at Yemen, Pakistan, they have these gigantic, bigger than the skyscrapers at New York, of Moors. Everywhere. Our land will look like that shortly. Islam. Peace and grand rising to the sovereign, original, indigenous, natural, divine heirs. Islam.
Islam. Peace and grand rising.
Islam.
Islam, no flavor on your spectrum.
Islam.
Great grand rising was.
Islam.
Islam.
We are unified.
Yes.
Islam. Peace and grand rising was.
We are. We are.
Rising.
Islam. Islam.
Yes, indeed. Islam. Indeed. Islam.